Our coverage this weekend in Ithaca made possible by the Hampton Inn Ithaca. Whether you're traveling through the area, visiting kids at college, or in town on business, the Hampton Inn Ithaca is the smart choice for your stay. Free Wi-Fi and a daily breakfast are included, plus access to the pool, gym, and business center. Enjoy all the wonders of Ithaca and the Finger Lakes area, and leave the rest to the staff at the Hampton Inn. 337 Elmira Road, not far from downtown Ithaca or the Cornell campus, 607-277-5500.
People ask, what is Buffalo Golf and Social? Buffalo Golf and Social is anything you want it to be. It can be the best instruction. It can be a vibe. It can be a hangout with your friends, running a simulator for 4 hours, playing your own playlist, and putting a game up on the TV. We are about everything and anything pertaining to golf. And most importantly, we are trying to build a community of players and a community of people who love and are dedicated to the game.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
Microphone 1, check 1, 2. Microphone 1, check 1, 2.
Microphone 2, check 1, 2. Microphone 2, check 1, 2.
And good afternoon from the historic Lynah Rink on the campus of Cornell University. Thank you for joining us for our broadcast of the Upstate New York Collegiate Hockey League right here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Today's game is a key matchup in the UNYCHL Central Division. It is the Cornell Big Red hosting the Binghamton Bearcats. Hello, I'm Aaron Alpern alongside color commentator Sean McHugh as we bring you live coverage of the UNYCHL presented by Buffalo Golf and Social. Buffalo Golf and Social, Buffalo's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. And Sean, this is a matchup of two teams that in all likelihood we're going to be seeing in Philadelphia later on this year in March.
Absolutely, Aaron. Binghamton is looking to repeat and upgrade on their run to the national title game last year. So far, the Bearcats are well on their way to achieving that goal coming into today's matchup with a 6-1-1 record, and the offense is starting to really fire for the Binghamton Bearcats. They have scored 13, 19, and 10 goals in their last three games. Yes, those are hockey scores, not football scores they're putting up in their last three games. And these are three division wins over Hamilton, Ithaca, and Cortland as the Bearcats look to repeat as Central Division champions.
Yeah, this weekend, a 13-5 win yesterday against Hamilton. On Friday, it was a 19-0 win over Ithaca, so certainly the Binghamton offense is coming out like they did early on last year, where they were putting up these types of results in a lot of their early season games. But they're certainly going to need to deal with this Cornell Big Red team if they hope to claim the Central Division title again this year. And Cornell really is one of the resurgent teams in the UNYCHL this year. 6-0-1 on the season. Their lone loss coming in overtime to Niagara. The Big Red picked up a non-division win yesterday over Buffalo State by a score of 4-2. Dennis Brown had a goal and an assist in that game, while Alexei Rogatkin stopped 28 shots in net for the win.
Yep, and we had the pleasure of calling that game just up the road at the Rink in Ithaca. But today is a real treat for our broadcast as we get to do our game to very high-powered teams at one of the most historic rinks in the state of New York, maybe even in all of college hockey. Home to Cornell Big Red since it was constructed in 1957. This is the fifth oldest building in college hockey, and it just oozes nostalgia with banners from past great Big Red teams that had players like Ken Dryden, Joe Neuendijk, and plus we have the Cornell Band here today just as an added bonus for us. Aaron, it's like Christmas for broadcasters today for us.
This really is a game that we've been looking forward to for quite a while, and certainly excited to be here in this arena to call a live broadcast, and even better because these two teams are playing such great hockey. Also, a special thanks to the Hampton Inn Ithaca for making our coverage this weekend possible. Located on Elmira Road, close to both downtown and the Cornell campus, be sure to book your next stay with the Hampton Inn Ithaca, the smart choice, whether you're traveling through the area, visiting kids at college, or in the area for business. Call them 607-277-5500. So, Sean, this matchup really sets up as a chance for one of these sides to gain an edge in the Central Division.
Yep, and it was Binghamton that ended Cornell's season last year in the UNYCHL playoffs, as if we needed any more to add to the hype to this matchup. But this is a very different Cornell team, as in the only similarities are really the uniforms they are wearing.
Yeah, their players talk about not being satisfied with where they were as a team last season. 2 new coaches were brought in, a new emphasis on recruiting, and the Big Red is legitimately looking like a major contender in the UNYCHL, as well as in the CHF.
And they get a measuring stick today as they get a bona fide CHF powerhouse to prove it against, as Binghamton made a run to the CHF Federation Cup last year in March. 5 wins, putting the Bearcats in the national title game, where they did fall to eventual national champion Babson.
Yeah, but they've added more depth this year, and they have most of the key players that were on that team last year. They're back here again this year, and expect they're quite eager to make a repeat run at nationals, and also trying to solve the riddle of the UNYCHL playoffs for them, as the Bearcats have still yet to claim a league title despite being a perennial favorite.
And look for Binghamton to emphasize their speed game today. This is a deep lineup that has weapons up and down said lineup to be aware of, starting with the captain, Jack O'Brien, who told us that they worked in practice this week, playing with more intensity and physicality. That does not mean they're trying to hurt people. It means they're playing hockey the right way, playing with grit along with this clear skill set all these players have. Just will make them that much more difficult to defend and play against.
Yeah, and we have a number of players on each side to really be aware of if you're looking at it from a standout players perspective. Leading scorers for Binghamton, Christopher Simak leading the way with 6 goals and 12 assists on the season. Justin Franks, 8 goals and 5 assists for him as well. Thomas McKee had 4 goals in yesterday's game. He's up to 8 on the season to go along with 6 assists. So a ton of depth in the Binghamton lineup, much like they had last year. On the Cornell side, they've also got plenty of depth.
Absolutely, and we got a good look at them yesterday, led by Robert Dysart and Dennis Brown. They both lead the way with 13 points, identical stat line, 7 goals, and 6 assists. So again, 2 high-powered offenses, 2 defenses, 2 teams looking to make a run at the title game, and 2 teams that are going to give us a look at how close they are to achieving that goal today, and we just happen to do it in one of the most historic rinks in college hockey.
We had the pleasure earlier this week of speaking with Binghamton defenseman Jack O'Brien on UNYCHL Rinkside, the official source for news from the Upstate New York Collegiate Hockey League. Listen to our program to hear about what's happening around the league through the voices of its players and coaches. UNYCHL Rinkside comes out every Wednesday throughout the hockey season. UNYCHL.hockey, or you could search for UNYCHL Rinkside on Spotify.
Okay.
Our next league broadcast is going to include both of these teams, as they will be a part of the 8 teams that are in Elmira later on this month in 2 weeks, as we will have live coverage of the Invitational at Elmira, which will be taking place at First Arena right in downtown Elmira.
And all 12 games from the showcase between the UNYCHL and Empire Conference will be broadcast live here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. This is the weekend of November 18th through the 20th. Our coverage of UNYCHL is brought to you by Buffalo Golf and Social, Buffalo's best destination for year-round practice and instruction.
And also our broadcast being brought to you today by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. 716-856-2872 or online militello.com. Support for our coverage also comes from West Her, the largest automotive dealer group in New York State, selling over 50,000 pre-owned and new cars every year to customers in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. West Her Auto, dedicated to absolute excellence in customer service. Support also comes from the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, commercial, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. 716-675-5700. Supporters also include Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel, and by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media for digital media solutions. And of course, this weekend's coverage, as mentioned before, brought to you by the Hampton Inn Ithaca. So thanks to all of our sponsors and supporters of these broadcasts. Should be a heck of a matchup here today as we bring you live coverage of the UNYCHL right here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. It is the Cornell Big Red facing off against the Binghamton Bearcats. And taking a quick look at our starting netminders today, in goal for Binghamton, it will be number 31, Adam Bloodgood. He is the frequent face that we see in the Binghamton net for all of their big games. He's actually well rested coming into this one as well, as the backup Max Adwar played both of the games already this weekend, so we see a fresh Adam Bloodgood in net today. Meanwhile, on the Cornell side, they have their pick of as many goaltenders as you could possibly choose from on their roster. They have 5 different guys on the roster playing goal, and in net today it's going to be number 1, Jeremy Siegel.
Yep, and we got a good goaltending matchup as well. Yesterday we had the pleasure of seeing Alexei Rogotkin play an outstanding game against the Buffalo State Bengals. Now we're going to get a look at number 1, Jeremy Siegel, and one of the things we have been made aware among a lot of the strengths of this Cornell team, they have a lot of goalies, but every one of them is respected by all their coaches and teammates. Every one of them is capable of being a number 1.
And you think about it, if you have 5 goaltenders, the competition within the program just makes each of them elevate their games even more. If you want that playing time, if you want to see the ice in the big games, you have to play well when you get the opportunity, and you have to compete in practice. So I think that's kind of goes hand in hand with what Cornell coaches were telling us earlier this week about what they've been trying to do to remake the program, and the emphasis on recruiting obviously has been paying off if you have 5 number 1 goaltenders that are competing for starting jobs.
Well, the point that the captains wanted to make to the league starting at the end of last season with their disappointing end was they wanted to get better, and one way to do that is to ramp it up when you're not playing, and that is what Cornell has made a commitment to doing in practice. creating internal competition so everything is earned and not given, and you see it the way these kids play on the ice, how hard they play and how they support each other. Very similar to how we've seen Binghamton on their run of, I mean, dominance might be too strong of a word, but I'm not sure what the word under it is. They're always there.
Perennial power in the UNYCHL.
I mean, when they lose, you're surprised.
Yeah, exactly. It was they got actually knocked out last year in the semifinals of the league playoffs. And that kind of came as a surprise to everybody. Might have been what they needed to set themselves up for that Nationals run, though, because they were a very hungry team when they got to Philadelphia.
Absolutely, and here's the thing, and everybody will tell you, the team that ended their playoff run last year before Nationals, the Buffalo State Bengals, they were a powerful team. Lines up and down, and even still, ask anybody on that Binghamton team, they blew a lead in the third period. They'll tell you they should have won that game.
All right, we're ready for the national anthem. Should be ready for puck drop here in just a few moments, live from Lynah Rink on the Cornell campus. And we are live at Lynah Rink on the campus of Cornell University, ready for Cornell and Binghamton as we are set for this key UNYCHL Central Division matchup. And our coverage of the UNYCHL here on the Nickel City Hockey Network is presented by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. Simulators, leagues, lessons, Buffalo Golf and Social is the area's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. And with great beer and wine selection, it's also the perfect place to sit and watch golf with others who love the game. Locations downtown and in Orchard Park. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. We're about ready for puck drop here from the Lynah Rink here on the Cornell campus.
And
Sean, this one should be a dandy of a matchup. We have a nice atmosphere here in the building. Just the history of this arena is enough to make you excited about this game. Plus, we have the Cornell band joining us here today.
They've got rugby shirts on. When someone plays drums in a rugby shirt, if you don't get fired up, you're not human. So we've got everything we want for this game today.
And most importantly, we have a great matchup on the ice. It is the Binghamton Bearcats, and they are the national runners-up last season in the CHF, alongside the Cornell Big Red. This one should be a heck of a matchup here today. We're underway here from Ithaca, New York. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern on the call for today's game, along with Sean McHugh. Jeff Jezerowski, our camera operator, John Dwyer handling the production today. We're about 10 seconds here into the action. Puck in the Binghamton zone, swung in behind the net. Pass comes right out in front. We saw Cornell doing that a lot during yesterday's game against Buffalo State. Quickly moving the puck from below the goal line out in front. Shot coming in there from Binghamton as they look to counter it and move it up the ice. That went wide, now back into the neutral zone. Max Clares and Jack O'Brien exchange the puck and dump it in. O'Brien taking a big hit over there on the far side. Looks like we have a penalty being called.
Oh, man.
It's a roughing call as Jack O'Brien is slow getting to the bench. Number 47, the captain of the Binghamton Bearcats, taking a big hit there in the neutral zone. And Binghamton's going to go on the power play as a result. And we'll have to keep an eye on number 47 to see if he's doing all right there.
Yeah, definitely concern for the captain, Jack O'Brien. But here's the thing, too. In the first 30 seconds of the game, Cornell goes down Dennis Brown, and he was one of the, if not the most notable forwards in their win against Buff State. So Cornell loses a big gun early. So this high-powered Binghamton power play gets their first shot at this incredibly strong Cornell penalty kill.
Yeah, not even a minute into the action. We already have the first power play being issued. And now we see what Binghamton can do with it. So far having a little trouble getting the things set up in the offensive zone. Kept in here at the blue line. Good play there by Justin Franks. Makes a pass out in front, trying to get it to Usinski, but unable to connect on that pass, and Cornell gets the clear. Minute 32 now remaining in the penalty.
So far, so good if you're Cornell. Everything's keeping to the outside. The shots that are getting to the goaltender, Siegel, he's seeing everything. Binghamton really wants to look to maybe maintain a presence down low because Cornell is totally fine allowing those point shots as long as the goaltender sees the lane.
This is the dangerous Christopher Simak into the offensive zone. He's got the puck in that far corner after he makes one move to get around a defender. Pass comes in behind the net. Connecting on it again there along the far wall, but good defense there. And a clear is established as Cornell has killed off the first minute of this penalty. Matthew Weinstein making a good play to get that puck sent down the ice. Binghamton now countering, moving back through the neutral zone. Usinski gets it into the slot. Now back on his stick here on his backhand. Just couldn't get a shot away as he's got control here in the corner. Usinski circling towards the point. Drops a pass off to Todorovic. Pass down low and then back out in front to Todorovic. Good look there towards the back door. Nobody there, however. Binghamton now establishes that setup there on the far side.
Oh, here comes
O'Brien from the midpoint. Comes over to the near side. Todorovic trying to get that one in front. Just couldn't connect on that pass. Binghamton, though, maintaining possession. Cross-ice pass as Usinski was open there on the far side, but a Cornell stick getting in the way. 20 seconds now remaining in the Binghamton power play. Cornell finding possession of the puck and getting a chance to clear it. They might have an odd man rush here, shorthanded. Into the offensive zone come the Big Red. That's Dysert with the puck, waiting for support. Almost feeds a nice pass out there in front as he had Max Miller driving in from his defense position to try to set up a shorthanded opportunity. And now the last few seconds of the penalty ticking away here as Cornell has the puck inside the Binghamton zone right now. Very effective job on that penalty kill.
Here comes the hammer for Cornell, Alex Allen. He's a nightmare to play against. He's big, he's fast, he's skilled, and he is mean. Get ready to see a lot of him down below the Binghamton goal line in this game.
Cornell with a shot coming in there from the point. Bloodgood making a save, his first test of the afternoon. Binghamton here slightly offsides as they had a little bit of a delay on that zone entry, and that allows Cornell to pick up possession and move it up ice into the offensive zone. That's Shaw getting it in, but he's unable to maintain possession, and the Bearcats look to counter. Puck in the neutral zone, picked up there by number 81, Hayden Sutter. Gets some help from a teammate, Corey Foster, and it's into the offensive zone where Binghamton tries to set up the forecheck pressure. Puck comes up the far wall, kept in, as it is Cullen getting it down low. Cullen now with the puck back on his stick, and he gets it back to the point to Henderson. That shot through a screen. Looked like it got deflected late and just barely missed the near post. Cullen keeping it in on the far side as Binghamton doing a good job here of establishing a little bit of zone time. Getting a change in while they have that zone time as well. Shot coming in there from Cullen, right on goal. Save is made as Siegel makes a good stop on that one. Really didn't get tested during that power play, but that was a pretty good look there from the mid-slot.
Yeah, Binghamton doing a really good job of being patient on their power play, but again, you're playing a very strong defensive team. You're rarely going to get the perfect shot. You got to get the shots to the net when you have the chance. I think Binghamton's going to figure that out sooner than later, that Cornell just is not going to give them anything free.
Puck is turned over there along the Binghamton blue line. Sent into the Binghamton defensive zone. The Bearcats look to break it out. Dangerous pass as it comes out in front. A couple of Cornell bodies that were there unable to find control of that one, as now it's Simak setting it up behind his own net. Puck comes around behind the net again. This is Henderson with it. Henderson with that pass up the near side, ends up bouncing off the glass and into the neutral zone. Cornell's going to pick it up there, though, and look to counter. But a good play by Simak to get in the way of that pass, and now he has it into the offensive zone on the forehand. Good shot as that one hit the shoulder of Siegel, looking to go up top as the dangerous Christopher Simak looking to add to his totals this year. 6 and 12 in terms of goals and assists already this year, and big part of that powerful Binghamton offense that the Cornell team's really going to have to keep an eye on today.
Absolutely. You can have him glued down, and he'll still find his way, so you got to make sure you have one of your many great defensemen aware of 17 at all times. At his worst, he's extremely dangerous. At his best, I'm not even sure he's stoppable.
Puck kept in by Nepper here on the near side, unable to locate that puck as it got fed down low into the zone. Has it on his stick again here in the neutral zone and dumps it back into the Binghamton end. Hugh White looking to start the breakout, connects on a pass cross ice to Simak, and now he carries it across the red line, dumping it in on goal, now heading to the bench for a change. Cornell looking to counter quickly and get it up ice, but it's Max Clares getting into a passing lane, sending it right back into the Cornell zone. Siegel sets it up behind his net for Miller. Miller up ice, and he's got Brown there as Cornell moving it through the neutral zone. Puck is sent in deep, and now right out in front. Again, we see that play from Cornell. Anytime they get it down below the goal line in the offensive zone, it comes quickly back out into the slot. Whether or not there's a guy there waiting for the pass or not, they will try that no matter however many opportunities they're given.
Offensive philosophy is clear. Hit it with speed and get the puck into the high danger chances and go for the bounce or get somebody there. Cornell definitely wants to start getting more traffic in front of the net, but the thing is, every time a Cornell forward or a D-man carrying the puck is able to get below the goal line, they have a really uncanny ability, whether it's a saucer pass or a behind the back or whatever you have to do, the puck always finds its way to the slot. So these Binghamton defensemen need to have their sticks down, clearing the slot out, and Cornell's got to get more traffic in front, because the thing is, it's hard to get Adam Bloodgood on the first shot. You got to get multiple on him, you got to get traffic in front, you got to make his life miserable in that blue paint.
Just under 14 minutes remaining here in period number 1. Face-off here in the Binghamton end. Pass comes up ice off the glove of Binghamton player. No hand pass called there as it was a Cornell player touching it first. Max Clares, though, with a chance to carry it in. Shot from distance through a screen. Good save by Siegel as Clares got a lot on that one.
Yeah, Clares is a good defenseman. I know you're a huge fan of that gentleman's game, and I agree with it. He's a hard-nosed, two-way defenseman right there, leading the rush and putting a hard shot on the goaltender Siegel.
Every shift he makes a difference out there, whether it's a subtle play like that one there in the neutral zone or rushing it up ice like he did 30 seconds ago. Every single shift number 4 is out there. He makes a difference on the ice.
Yeah, leads by example every game. That's why he's got a ladder on his chest.
And his defensive partner Jack O'Brien stepping up and making a nice play. That sets up a rush up ice. Shot from Franks from in close. Good save by Siegel as that Binghamton transition and speed game showing off right there.
Siegel's been sharp so far. I mean, he hasn't had to make a crazy save, but the shots he's facing, not only is he making the save, he has been very good so far at steering the puck away from the high danger chances. That's very good because Binghamton, they're always on the attack. When the puck goes on net, there's 3 Bearcats going to the crease.
Cornell winning a puck battle in their own zone and methodically moving that puck up ice. Now they look to set it up down below the goal line, look for that pass to come out in front. Unable to get a hold of that one was Sean Benko and get that pass out in front. Good defense as in tight on him there was Sebastian Henderson. Puck right in front of the Binghamton bench right now as both teams try to scramble for possession. Some good physicality there on the far side as Cornell gets the better of that 2-on-2 battle and sends it back into the Binghamton zone. Maraxa here from his right point position, moving it up ice. Just unable to handle that pass was Sutter in the neutral zone, and that gives Cornell a chance to counter. Kratsios from distance, right on goal. Blocker save made by Bloodgood. Henderson picking up the rebound here in the near corner, looking to start the breakout to McKendry. McKendry with the reverse hit on the Cornell player there. That was looking to step into him. McKendry's a big guy, and you got to make sure you get plenty of leverage to get a good hit on him.
If you're going to hit the king, you better put him down, and you didn't right there. McKendry sees it coming. And you know those big guys, when they see someone coming at them, they want to throw that reverse hit.
Looks like we have a hand pass being called here right along the Cornell line. Both teams making some line changes here as we have a little bit less than 12 minutes to go in the first period. Still waiting for the game's first goal as teams have been trading some chances back and forth. Not really any major high-quality danger chances yet as both teams are making sure they keep that tight defense here in the early going to make sure that they don't give that early advantage.
You can tell there is a very mutual respect on the ice both teams have for each other right now. The game is coming fast right now, and I'm not going to complain about that. Fast hockey is the best kind of hockey. We're still waiting to see that super high danger scoring chance that either results in a goal, a great save, or a great defensive play. But what we are seeing is two teams that are very aware of who their opponent is, but are also not playing scared of their opponent.
The first 5 minutes or so was a settling in period for this game, and I think both teams are now up to full speed. See who can get the advantage here in the next 5. Corey Foster with some pressure there on the far side, but evading that pressure and looking to move it up ice is number 19, Alex Allen. Allen now has to battle against Stappenbeck there for possession. It comes to the side of the Cornell net, frozen there by the netminder Siegel. And now 11:26 remaining in the first period, as we'll get an offensive zone draw coming up here for Binghamton.
Yep, and we had an early power play, but the rest of the game's been played 5-on-5. But even still, even with 10 skaters on the ice, it seems like there's a lot more room out there because both teams are just really, really smooth carrying the puck and hitting the line with speed. That's been Binghamton's hallmark for 3 years, and it looks like Cornell sees the success they're having. He's trying to build a bigger, faster, stronger version of that, and we're trying to see it, and we're looking right now. Here we go. Here's a chance.
Pass comes out in front as Foster tried to get that one back to the point to White. Rebound opportunity in front of the net as who is in between the legs of a defenseman. Stappenbeck just unable to find control of it and get the shot on goal. Cornell countering, dumping it in quickly into the offensive zone. Picking up there on the far side is Alex Allen. He feeds it in behind the net to Dysert. Unable to maintain possession of that, and Foster moves it back into the neutral zone. Cornell looking to send it right back into the offensive zone. They do so, dumping it in and making a change. Some light pressure there being put on by Dennis Brown as he's the only one in the offensive zone right now. And they do get a bit of a turnover here, keeping it in as the high man makes the play there on that breakout pass. Eventually, though, Binghamton does clear the zone. And now Cornell regrouping just inside their own blue line. Possession lost there in the neutral zone, and Stappenbeck dumps it in for Binghamton.
Is that a 1-2-2 from Cornell right there in the neutral zone?
Looked like it.
Wow, Lou Lamorello's got a tear streaming down his face right now.
Looks like both teams are only putting one guy in on the attack early on here in this game, certainly trying to have that respect defensively for the opponent's speed.
I mean, if you're going to respect your opponent's speed, which you should always, but these are two teams that they're smart to do that. But now we're getting set up here. Let's see if Binghamton actually starts to maybe ratchet it up now with the offensive possession.
Binghamton's top line with a good chance there in front of the net. Owen Roll trying to get that one through the pad of the goaltender Siegel. Nice save made there in tight, right on the mouth of the goal crease.
Yeah, the crowd appreciated that right below our broadcast position. We got some wooden bleachers on the home side of the bench, and they're pumping those bless every time he makes a big save.
Puck right in the slot there. Almost a chance for Usinski to get a shot away. Cornell now looking to counter and move it back in the opposite direction. Into the offensive zone. Drop pass there, but a good defensive play. Again, it's number 4, Max Clare, stepping up, making that play to negate any sort of shot opportunity. Now back in the other direction. That's Simak trying to get that backhand in on goal as him and Usinski were going in as a tandem. Offsides there on the call, as late to exit the zone there on the play was Justin Frank, so we have the offsides call being made. Face-off coming up here in the neutral zone. 9:15 to go in first period play. Binghamton may be establishing a little bit of that offensive pressure that they like.
Yeah, right there was their first high-danger chance. Really, really good save there by the goaltender Siegel on the initial shot, on the rebound, and then being able to keep his pad on top of the puck. So Christopher Simak was not able to lift it over his leg. But if you're Cornell, you do not want to mess around with those net mount scrambles with these just vultures of forwards around the net that these Binghamton Bearcats can be.
Especially when you get that top line of Simak and Usinski along with Roll out there. Dangerous trio as the three of them pretty much wreaked havoc during that tournament in Philadelphia last year.
Wow.
Shot comes in from the point there, hits the backboards and comes back through Bloodgood's legs.
Cornerstone bounce, Aaron.
That did look like the arena in Lockport, New York. You see some of those springboard bounces as maybe some active boards here in this arena as well.
Yeah, you know, the building might be like almost 60 years old, but the ice, yeah, they're maintaining that. These boards are live.
Puck along the Cornell goal line as they look to
7
start
years
to
old.
break out up the far side. Puck is kept in. Good play there by Thomas McKee to put some pressure on the defenseman. Pressure continuing now behind the net as McKee continues to track that puck. Comes back to the point. Shots taken there, deflected late by Franks as Henderson let a shot go from the point.
Ooh, that puck was loose.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's arguing, but that one more jab at that, and that thing comes out in front.
It wasn't 100% covered, but the referee blew the play dead.
Did the right thing. He lost sight of it.
Yeah, it gave Siegel the benefit of the doubt there on the cover. So 8:16 now remaining in the first period. Face-off going to be coming up to the right of Jeremy Siegel. And we have Todorovic on for the draw against Dysert for Cornell.
Yeah, we're starting to see the ice tilt a little bit in favor of Binghamton right now. Nothing crazy, but the lion's share of possession, especially recently in the last 3 or 4 minutes, has pretty much been exclusively in the Cornell end.
Cornell with a chance to change that here as it's Dysert carrying it into the offensive zone. Sends it behind the net. All three forwards down below the goal line at that moment. Puck comes back to the point. Kept in there by number 24, Barry. His shot goes just wide. And has Bloodgood out towards the top of his crease to cut down the angle on that one. Puck kept in as Cornell looks to establish some zone time. Pass comes out in front as it's Allen picking it up here in the corner, moving it back to the point to Dysert. Dysert back to Allen here on the near side, and he gets some help there from Dennis Brown. Pass in front, knocked away by the Binghamton defenseman, and the Bearcats try to move it out. They do barely get it just across the blue line.
Unfortunate.
And that would have been almost an offsides call, but almost a break opportunity. Just the bounce of the puck ends up going into the neutral zone. Neither team really gains an advantage until Cornell's able to get it here into the offensive end.
That was the most athletic thing I've ever seen a ref do in my entire life.
Avoiding the play there and staying out of the way.
Over it and not disrupting anything and landing in stride. That was awesome. He's already the first star of the game.
We have two of the best teams in the UNYCHL, and not surprised that we have a good crew of referees here, is that not only athletic, but they've been making all the right calls here so far in the first 14 minutes.
Letting the game play, but granted the teams also have not given them any reason to blow the whistle, so you get that combination with two high-powered teams, it's the dream.
Puck kept in by Padmanabhan here in the near point. Shot taken through a screen. Looked like he had a nice lane to get that shot away. Grayson Shaw. Almost an opportunity for a stretch pass to connect there in the neutral zone. Stappenbeck unable to find that puck as it came through his skates. So icing is the call on the play, and the faceoff will come back down to the Binghamton end with 6:33 remaining here in period number 1.
And Cornell starting to even the scale here. Now we're getting a little bit more zone time here in the Binghamton end. Not a whole lot of crazy chances, minus that weird bounce, which every big goal in history is scored off of something weird, so that had that written all over it. But again, now the team is looking to exchange possession right now. A back-and-forth game is exactly what everybody in this building was hoping for.
Binghamton countering quickly up ice as it was Stappenbeck and Grew looking to connect on a pass just inside the blue line. Unable to maintain possession of it and get it all the way deep into the zone, and now it comes back to center ice where Jack O'Brien sends it in for the Bearcats. Some light pressure there from Binghamton, but they still managed to find possession of it there on the far side as it's Corey Foster taking it away from two different Cornell players. Gets a back pass now from Grew as he battles against another Cornell player over there on the far side. Kratsios taking it away from him, and then getting some help from Aldrich to move it up ice. Kratsios gets control of it, but his pass is intercepted. Now Grew looks to counter and come back into the offensive zone with under 6 minutes to go in the period. Puck is cleared out, but it's Binghamton finding possession yet again as they're establishing a little bit more control here in the early going of period number 1. See what sort of response we get from Cornell as they find possession, just move it through the neutral zone. Binghamton picking it up again, looking to come back through the neutral zone.
Look at this. You can tell this is a veteran team right now that's been together for a number of years. Every pass is where it needs to be, and every action is done with purpose that leads to another action. Granted, Cornell has done a nice job for the most part of breaking their ends up, but you can just tell when Binghamton's right, they're a machine.
Nice physicality there as it was Max Clare stepping into his guy. Funny bounce there off the backboards as it came almost right in front of the net, catching Siegel off guard. No harm done there in the process, though, as the puck comes back into the Binghamton territory. 5 minutes exactly to play here in period number 1 as the puck comes up the far wall. Simak knocking it down, then the puck goes into the Binghamton bench, so we get a stoppage in play and a neutral zone draw coming up.
Yep, and we're getting Binghamton. It almost looks like a game of your turn, my turn in the offensive zone right now. Binghamton had possession for a couple consecutive minutes. Cornell then comes in, gets their big guns out there, does a really nice job of working below the goal line, and then Binghamton again heading down there. We got a face-off at center ice here, and so who's going to get possession now?
It's the two top lines against each other out there, and this is the matchup that I've been eager to see in this game. See which one of these top units gets the advantage, because each of their last shifts they've been away from each other and they've controlled play. So see who gets the advantage here between these two top lines.
Yeah, Cornell wanted that matchup because they get last change. So, well, Binghamton's coming out with a rush, but look at the back check here.
Opportunity for Usinski to get it into the offensive zone. Drops a pass to Roll, but kind of a couple players running into each other there, and that gives Dennis Brown a chance to come up ice. He's got Dysert with him, feeds it in front, but actually a really good penalty being taken there, as it was the other number 8, Henderson, getting the hook on his man there.
Saved a goal.
That really probably did save a goal, because that pass was right on the tape, and it was that little bit of a hook with the stick was the only thing that kept that shot from coming in on goal. You don't really like seeing penalties, I'm sure, if you're the Binghamton side, but if you're going to take one,
the alternative is a goal.
Yeah, take one like that if you're going to take a penalty.
Here's the thing. And like we said, that was a penalty that saved, at worst, and a ridiculously great save that Bloodgood would have to make. But here's the thing. Now we get a look at the lethal Cornell power play, scoring a league-leading 20 goals so far in this season. This is not a power play to mess with. I don't care who your opponent is, whether you're Binghamton or whether you're a beer league team.
Yeah, they are very effective at moving the puck around in the offensive zone. We saw that in their game yesterday. Let's see how the Binghamton penalty kill does against them. They find possession of it early on in the kill. Nicholas Perry sending it the length of the ice. Some hard pressure being put on there by Franks, and it creates a turnover and allows Binghamton to send it right back into the offensive zone.
This will be our first look at Tamara Rabin as well, and she made some noise against the Buffalo State Bengals yesterday. She threw some massive hits, so let's see if they use her physicality to maybe work on some grinding. There she is, right in front of the net, engaging with a defenseman. She did that to lead to a goal yesterday.
Puck set up on the far side as Cornell finally gets their formation established.
They can't move her.
Pass comes in front of the net, almost connects there with a player coming in from the point. Going back to pick it up is Bement. Feeds it back down low. Now the pass comes out towards the front of the net, but unable to get that one in front was Benko. Benko now has it here on the half wall as he gets it down low, trying to get that zone time established. Binghamton being very aggressive here on the penalty kill, not giving any of the puck carriers much room at all to work with. Perry really doing a good job there down low. Comes out in front, though, scramble for it, and now we have a player getting knocked down in the process, and it's going to be a Binghamton penalty coming up here, I think.
Yeah, it is going to be. It's going to be roughing or a high stick. The forward for Cornell, that is number 23. That is Sean Benko. He was noticeable yesterday. You were just talking about him, and now he draws a penalty. Binghamton is in some hot water right now. They have to deal with this lethal Cornell power play down 2 with 47 seconds, and they were controlling it 5-on-4. Here they come. They're sending the big guns out right now. The captain, Joey Padmanabhan, is out there. Dennis Brown is out there. Dysert's out there. Let's see.
Allen as well as Grayson Shaw.
And Allen's going to go right to the net and just be an absolute monster down low if they can get him down there, because he will grind you to a powder. Binghamton
doing the first most important thing there in this 5-on-3, winning that first face-off and getting the clear. So 35 seconds now remaining on the original penalty. Let's see what Cornell can do here with the 5-on-3 opportunity. Dysart across the blue line, now setting it up in the far corner. Good play by Jack O'Brien to get him off of that puck. Unable to clear it, though, are the Bearcats, and it's set up here on the blue line by Brown. Brown back to Padmanabhan, walks in and takes a shot that hits a leg and goes wide. I don't know if it got all the way to Bloodgood, but there was definitely a screen in front of the net. Would have been difficult for him to track that puck if it did get all the way to him. Battle for a puck here in the near corner is Binghamton doing a good job of trying to make things as difficult as they can during this 5-on-3. They win a puck battle down low, and they get the clear there, as is now 5-on-4 as the power play continues. Padmanabhan bringing in across the blue line. Shaw gets knocked off of that puck as a good defensive play there by McKee to find possession for the Bearcats. Gets the clear all the way back down into Cornell territory. Continued aggression here on the penalty kill as Grew has control of the puck, and 3 different Cornell players marking him, trying to get the puck back away from him. 45 seconds now remaining on the power play as Padmanabhan sets up behind his net. Pass up ice. This is Dysart. He gets it into the offensive zone. Kratsios unable to maintain control as he basically got stripped of that one by Justin Grew. Good little back check there, as now a puck is turned over here in the offensive zone. Binghamton might get a chance shorthanded. Corey Foster decides just to kill off a little bit more time, sends it back to a defenseman, then they get it cleared into the offensive zone.
That's the right thing to do. Just get this power play off the ice and milk that clock.
17 seconds now remaining in the power play. A 5-on-3 for 47 seconds. This could end up being one of those momentum-changing penalty kills.
Cornell had something to say about that for a second, but again, great defense there by the Bearcats, and Bloodgood right on the spot to make the save if he had to.
I almost spoke too soon there, but they do manage to get the rest of the kill done. And now Cornell going to try to establish something 5-on-5 as Kratsios here in the near corner. 2 different Cornell players in for that battle, but it's going to be Grew coming out of the pile with it, gets it back to the point, kept in there along the blue line by Bradley Wang. And Kratsios' shot from distance goes off the blocker of Bloodgood as we're under a minute to go in the first period, 42 seconds remaining, as a loose puck here in the neutral zone is picked up by Corey Foster. His headman pass is too far for its intended target. That one's going to go for icing, as chasing back after it was Turner Aldrich. And now we're going to get an offensive zone draw coming up for the Big Red. 34.4 seconds remaining here in this first period. One last opportunity for Cornell to establish some zone time as 5-on-3 power play probably didn't go the way that they planned on.
No, they had one spell of pretty good possession, led to a block shot and a clear, and I'm more willing to give Binghamton credit for just playing crazy physical and just grinding it down any means necessary to keep the puck out. That was a great kill by Binghamton, something they can definitely use to build some momentum at the end of this period going into the second.
Another face-off won there by Binghamton, and they get the puck cleared. This one might be an icing, though, again. Let's see who wins that foot race. Barely winning it was the Cornell player, Pat Manaban, the captain. It was a stride maybe at the most. So Binghamton players not necessarily agreeing with that call, but it's going to be an icing with 23.5 seconds remaining in the period. The band getting into it again as they try to give their team a little bit of life for this last face-off here of the period.
No reason for them to stop doing that. I'm all for it.
The atmosphere that it adds to is great. I mean, being in this arena alone was going to be awesome. Having them here just makes it all the more better.
And we do have a crowd here below our broadcast position. The home side crowd is filled, and there's a pretty solid contingent of Binghamton fans here as well. So we got the atmosphere, the rink, and the fans showed up today. It's
not a sellout crowd of 4,200 like you'll get for the D1 games, but just being in this arena, that's enough atmosphere for both of us to appreciate it. This one's going to be an icing again.
I don't love doing that. I would try to get some possession here because, again, these defensemen can move the puck, so a win face-off and a shot, I mean.
But with the 3 consecutive icings, this is actually an opportunity for the Binghamton players to catch some wind.
Oh, yeah,
They all have to stay out there on the ice during the icing, but they haven't really played much hockey in the last, 2 actual minutes.
That's a fair point, too. I mean, I know Rob Ray, the former Buffalo Sabre, would say that, too. When they're hemmed in, just keep icing the puck until you can catch your breath. I mean, it's strategic, but I feel like it's a oil and fire and avoid the match kind of strategy.
Yeah, again, they find possession here right off that draw. Corey Foster carrying it up ice. Maybe one last opportunity for the Bearcats. Foster with the shot from distance. Pad save made by Siegel as the last couple of seconds tick away. A little bit of physicality there in the Cornell end as a couple of players come together along the far boards. Now some conversation being exchanged. Nothing really coming out of that one. As period number 1 comes to a close, a very entertaining first period of play, Sean, but no scoring.
Nope, no scoring, but there are periods of no scoring that are boring and terrible to watch. This was not one of them. We got some saves, we got some chances, couple fluky bounces, couple power plays, some physical play at the end. So I think about a little more than half of that period is more of a get to know what you're up against kind of deal. I expect the teams to take the restrictor plates off and really hammer the gas coming into the second period.
Be interested to see what sort of adjustments are made here during the intermission, especially when Cornell gets on the power play again the next time. Binghamton has been very aggressive in their penalty kill up and down the ice, full 200 feet. They've been pressuring the puck in the Binghamton end when they're trying to break it out of their zone. They've been pressuring the puck aggressively in the offensive end as well. Maybe they saw something on video that in the Cornell power play that said, we need to pressure them as much as we possibly can. See what sort of adjustment might come from the Big Red on that one.
Absolutely, and on the same token, check and see what kind of adjustments are going to come from Binghamton in the offensive zone. They had a lot of possession and some chances, but other than one net mount scramble, they really didn't. I'm not going to say they didn't test Jeremy Siegel. He made the saves. They didn't force him to bail Cornell out. He saw everything, and he made the saves he's supposed to make, which is what a good goaltender does. They haven't forced him to be great yet, and I want to see if Binghamton can do that, because they can do that to a goaltender in a defense.
Well, we've already had one great period of play. Looking forward to seeing what the next 40 minutes are going to bring us here from the historic Lynah Rink here on the Cornell campus. And our coverage is presented by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. Simulators, lessons, leagues, Buffalo Golf and Social is the area's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. And with great beer and wine selection, it's also the perfect place to sit and watch golf with others who love the game. Locations downtown Buffalo and in Orchard Park. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. This broadcast also brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Find them online at militello.com. Support also from West Her, the largest automotive dealer group in New York State. Selling over 50,000 pre-owned and new cars every year to customers in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. West Her Auto, dedicated to absolute excellence in customer service. Our supporters also include the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, commercial, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Contact them 716-675-5700. This broadcast also brought to you by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Find them online, enviousgameware.com, and by 412 Communications, the new gold standard for digital media solutions. Well, we're done with 20 minutes of play here from the Lynah Rink on the campus of Cornell University. No score yet between Cornell and Binghamton. See what the second period has in store for us in about 10 minutes. We're going to step away here for the first intermission, but we'll rejoin you in about 10 minutes for period number 2 right here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Our coverage this weekend in Ithaca made possible by the Hampton Inn Ithaca. Whether you're traveling through the area, visiting kids at college, or in town for business, the Hampton Inn Ithaca is the smart choice for your stay. Free Wi-Fi and a daily breakfast are included, plus access to the pool, gym, and business center. Enjoy all the wonders of Ithaca and the Finger Lakes region, and leave the rest to the staff at the Hampton Inn. 337 Elmira Road, not far from downtown Ithaca or the Cornell campus. Give them a call, 607-277-5500. Our coverage this weekend in Ithaca made possible by the Hampton Inn Ithaca. Whether you're traveling through the area, visiting kids at college, or in town on business, the Hampton Inn Ithaca is the smart choice for your stay. Free Wi-Fi and a daily breakfast are included, plus access to the pool, gym, and business center. Enjoy all the wonders of Ithaca and the Finger Lakes area, and leave the rest to the staff at the Hampton Inn. 337 Elmira Road, not far from downtown Ithaca or the Cornell campus, 607-277-5500.
I created Buffalo Golf and Social for one reason: to create a space that's different and unique from any other golf facility you've ever been to. It's a place to learn, and it's a place to enjoy. You ready? People ask, what is Buffalo Golf and Social? Buffalo Golf and Social is anything you want it to be. It can be the best instruction. It can be a vibe. It can be a hangout with your friends, renting a simulator for 4 hours, playing your own playlist, and putting a game up on the TV. We are about everything and anything pertaining to golf. And most importantly, we are trying to build a community of players and a community of people who love and are dedicated to the game.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
And welcome back to Lynah Rink on the Cornell campus as we get ready for second period play between Cornell University and Binghamton. It's a key UNYCHL Central Division matchup, and our score after one period of play is 0-0 between the Bearcats and Big Red. Our coverage of the UNYCHL is presented by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. Simulators, lessons, leagues, Buffalo Golf and Social is the area's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. Locations downtown and in Orchard Park. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. We're about set now for second period play between Cornell and Binghamton. Thank you very much for joining our broadcast today here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Hello, my name's Aaron Elpern, alongside color commentator Sean McHugh, producer John Dwyer, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski. Happy to bring you this game from this historic arena, Sean, and so far it's lived up to our expectations.
Absolutely. Both teams playing with speed, both teams playing with intensity, both teams getting on the power play and having some zone time. Haven't had any of the crazy high-danger scoring chances or great saves or any goals, but I don't expect that to continue for a whole lot longer. We have two very high-powered teams. First period felt a little bit like a feeling-out process, but I think we're going to get back to the run-and-gun possession and strong skating and puck possession moving style that both of these teams are capable of playing. And once again, we're gonna see the line coming through Binghamton we're going to see Christopher Simak, the very dangerous veteran forward. He's going to be flanked by Owen Rowell, and he's going to be flanked by his line mate as well, Matthew Wasinski, and he's going to take the face-off against Dysert, who wins it back. And we are back underway with Colin Miller taking the puck and sending it back to Joey Padmanabhan.
Some technical issues here with our video feed right now. We'll get that sorted away here as we continue with play here in the second period. As puck here in the neutral zone, as it comes back across the Cornell blue line. Both teams battling for possession of it as Cornell gets it up ice through the neutral zone right in on Adam Bloodgood. He covers it up with the glove hand, and we get a stoppage in play 25 seconds into period number 2. We're getting our video feed here figured out and fixed. Hopefully we get all of our ducks in a row, and everything does appear to be in order now. So back to our live coverage here with the full video and audio from the Lynah Rink here on the Cornell campus. Face-off here in the Binghamton zone, and it's going to be Christopher Simak on for the draw, squaring off against Dysert. Cornell winning possession, but quickly getting it out of the zone, and up ice is Owen Roll. This is a 2-on-1 setting up for Binghamton. Roll with the cross-ice pass, but great defense there as Padmanabhan laid out, got the stick on that. Now he looks to join the rush. It's a 3-on-3 coming back in the other direction. Cornell player goes slamming into the far post. Then the Binghamton player that was circling the net ends up getting hit by the net. Hopefully everybody gets up and is... everything is in order. It does appear to be that both players are doing okay after that collision. That was a scary-looking moment, but some quick action here in period number 2. Not even a minute into the action, and teams trading chances.
Yep, Alex Allen must have gotten tired of hitting people and decided to go at the net right there, barreling down hard. Going to the net where you expect a big, strong player like him to be. Gets tied up, goes into the net, and then the net cascading behind the goal line takes out more players. Everybody popped right up, no harm, no foul, and everybody's good to go. But the intensity seems to be ratcheted up a little bit in the second period.
Right off the faceoff, quick shot coming in from the far side as Grayson Shaw let that wrist shot go on goal. Bloodgood making a save, and now the puck comes back through the neutral zone. Bit of a foot race there for it. Cornell winning that one as it was Franklin Berry getting to that puck first. Almost a chance out in front of the net, though, as that pass came in front. And then the shot from the point by Jack O'Brien right in on goal. And Siegel makes his first save of period number 2. There's his second one as O'Brien sends it in from the neutral zone. Siegel decides he's going to hang on to that one as there was a Binghamton player in close proximity. That was Cullen looking for a possible rebound. So we get a stoppage here with 18:53 remaining in the second period. Still no score yet here between these two high-powered offenses. They're both clearly doing that extra work defensively to make sure they don't give up any big opportunities.
Absolutely, and that's the smart thing to do right there if you're both teams, but especially Cornell, knowing that this Binghamton offense has a track record of being successful with speed, doing a really great job, and the one time they got beat, their captain made an outstanding defensive play to keep a scoring chance off the board.
Not much zone time being established there by Cornell, but some good defense there in the neutral zone as they get in the way of Justin Franks and knock him down just across the Binghamton blue line. Cornell now forcing a turnover, and Grayson Shaw sends it into the offensive zone where his teammate Benko sets up from some forecheck pressure. Good work to get away from that is by Henderson as he connects on a cross-ice pass into the neutral zone. Justin Franks unable to maintain his balance, though. Cornell sends it right back into the offensive zone themselves. Back up the near boards as Franks makes sure it gets into center ice, but Cornell finding possession. A little bit of a sloppy change there as they almost got caught with too many men on the ice there as the puck was right in front of the Cornell bench. Binghamton countering now as this is Franks into the offensive zone, circling in the near corner, looking for a pass, gets it back to the point. White shot hits a stick and a skate there. It almost deflects in on goal, but it goes just wide. And now Cornell getting a chance to clear it. They send it the length of the ice. This is going to be icing against the Big Red. And Binghamton's getting an opportunity for an offensive zone draw. One Binghamton player a little bit slow getting back to his skates into the bench. That is Cullen, but he does appear to be all right as he goes for a line change. And appears to be trying to gesture to the referee to get a call there, but none coming as
that's one way to make sure
face-off.
That's one way to make sure you do not get a call. Just tell the refs how to do it. And these refs are, they're calling it tight. I mean, they're letting them play, but when there's an infraction, they're calling it, and they're not hearing it from the players if they want to argue about it.
Shot attempt doesn't get through traffic as Cornell now 2 men on the puck here as they try to get it out of the zone. Turned over, though, as McKendry almost with an opportunity to get a shot in on goal from the lower part of the circle. Puck is cleared up and into the crowd, so a little bit of stop and start here to the early part of the second period. 17:20 now remaining in period number 2. Still no score yet between these two Central Division foes.
Yep, and we're going to get a lot more zone time. We're going to get some more zone time here coming in as well. As you know, Cornell not really being able to establish much zone time today, but again, Binghamton getting the zone time, but they're not really getting the great scoring chances in front. They're still looking to feed it to the slot, but the Cornell defense is doing a great job of keeping that out, everything to the outside.
It's going to be another icing here on Cornell as looked like we were starting a very fast second period with the way that the first minute went. That first shift from both sides was extremely quick, and there were 2 chances on each end. Since then, it's been a lot of whistles.
Yep, yeah, the pace has not been there in the second period as it was in the first period. I expect that to be smoothed out a little bit, but yeah, it's been a lot of whistling and a lot of staggered play.
Cornell winning the face-off here, looking to move it up the near side. Allen with some traffic on him, but he connects on a backhand pass, and now Dysert with speed through the neutral zone. Dysert cuts towards the slot, shot right in on goal. Pad save made by Bloodgood. Angles that rebound off to the far side. Now the Bearcats look to counter and bring it up ice. This is Hugh White back from his point position. Shot in on goal. A little bit of difficulty there for Siegel handling it. Made the glove save, but there was a rebound there briefly. Puck comes back to the point. Almost a big hit there along the blue line as Binghamton keeps it in the offensive zone. But Cornell finding possession here as they look to get it out up the far side. Good play to turn it over again. Todorovic almost with a chance there in front of the net as some good forecheck pressure being put on here by this Binghamton line. Pad Manaban looking to start the breakout. It comes up the near boards. Gets past the defenseman. This one's going to go for another icing against Cornell as Binghamton is looking to kind of establish a little bit what they were doing in the last 10 minutes of that first period. They had pushed the pace a little bit more. They maybe had a little bit of the edge in terms of the zone time, and that appears to be what's starting to pick up here again in period number 2.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before these two teams get going back and forth. So just expect it to clean itself up a little bit right now. We're starting to space it out, but again, a lot of icings to start this period.
Cornell winning another draw in their defensive zone. The icings aren't as big of a deal if you can win those defensive zone draws. Puck here in the neutral zone as Jack O'Brien finds it for Binghamton. They might have some numbers here into the offensive zone. Stappenbeck with a bit of an angle there. Broken stick there from the Cornell defenseman. This could be an advantage for Binghamton as they have more players in the offensive zone able to play the puck, but Binghamton unable to maintain the zone there as it comes out into center ice. Pad Manaban, though, still stuck on the ice with a broken stick as he's finally able to get over to the bench here. He was on the far side playing that left D position. Finally gets that change, and now Cornell looking to get it up ice. Grayson Shaw into the offensive zone. His shot goes up over the net as he had 2 players converging on him, making it that much more difficult to get that shot away. Puck here in the neutral zone, knocked down by Akins as he carries it over the blue line, moves that pass up to Shaw, but a bit out of his reach. Good defensive play by Max Clares to knock him off of that one. His defensive partner now, O'Brien, looking to start the breakout up the near side. Drew's got a man on him, finds O'Brien at the half wall, and now O'Brien circling back into the corner. Floats it into the neutral zone where Corey Foster's waiting for it, unable to find control of it though, and now Cornell is looking to bring it back into the offensive end. Some good pressure here as Weinstein gets to the puck first here in the near corner. But Max Clare is finding an opportunity to clear it on the far side. A little bit of a funny bounce as it rimmed on top of the dasher boards there. Up ice now as that shot's taken by Simak. Kind of rolled on him before he let that wrist shot go, and it went high and wide. Back into the neutral zone, and Binghamton sends it right back into the offensive zone. Another funny bounce there on that side. This time it was off the glass almost quickly out in front. Looked like Siegel caught a little bit of that one to keep it from getting in front of the net like we saw in the first period with Bloodgood. But it's going to be Binghamton finding possession in the neutral zone. Good setup there in the regroup, and now 2-on-1, maybe setting up here. Simak with a toe drag to get it out in front, but as Harry Akins leaving his feet to make the defensive play there and to keep that play from materializing into a good scoring chance.
Yeah, two really great defensive plays here by Padmanabhan and then Harry Akins, who was noticeable yesterday as well, to break up cross-ice scoring chances. The defense for Cornell is living up to their reputation right now.
Yeah, we were told by their coaching staff earlier this week that it's a big mobile defensive unit, and they've certainly done an excellent job of defending their end with their speed and size. Good play there to get in the way of a pass by Sebastian Alvarez. He chips it off the boards as he has a player now attacking into the offensive zone. Binghamton clearing it right back into neutral ice as the teams trade possessions. Back into the Cornell offensive end as this is Brown looking for an opportunity. Fed it out in front, but Alvarez unable to get a hold of that one as he got knocked down. Then a big hit in that far corner as it was Brown knocking over his man. It's going to be a penalty coming up as now Binghamton gets that net empty. It's going to be 6-on-5. They might get an opportunity here in transition. Just unable to accept that pass in front of the net was McKee. And now we get the whistle here as the referee signals the penalty. And this is going to be one of those ones that I think it's the tight call on the hard physical contact there. It looked like it was just a good solid check, but the referee immediately put his arm up on that one.
Yeah, and Cornell is upset too because they thought there should have been a penalty on the play right like a second before that on the back door, and then they get Cornell for a hit check from behind. So Cornell may have a gripe. From where I'm sitting, I had a hard time seeing if it was shoulder or back, so I really can't make judgment on the officials. He had a better look than I did.
Roughing is the call. He just signaled to him.
Okay.
I think that's the USA Hockey rule right there.
I think that's USA. I think that, yep, I'm with you. That's USA Hockey, not the refs.
Yeah, start of last season, there was the emphasis by USA Hockey on really violent collisions.
If it's close, call it.
Yeah, anything that looks like it's a dangerous type of hit is frequently called as a 2-minute minor.
Pretty much anything that gets fans loud is going to get called at this point, which safety is important, don't get me wrong, but I do understand why some players might not care for that, being hockey
purists.
Being the game it is. Double-edged sword, you're not going to win, so we just move on and continue to play.
Second chance here in the power play for Binghamton as they get set up here in the offensive zone. Puck down low, now move back up towards the top. McKee lets that wrist shot go. Good block, getting in the way of that one was number 23, Sean Banco. Good play there, and now a pass is turned over as Padmanabhan looks to carry it up ice and kill off a little bit more of this penalty. He's going to have to battle for a loose puck, though, in front of the Binghamton bench. Coming away with, though, is McKee. Carries it in and takes a shot from the high slot. Glove save by Siegel as that one might have missed the net high, but flashing that glove up there, making a good save. And the crowd showing its appreciation of that. 1:02 now remaining in the Cornell penalty.
Yeah, nothing wrong with flashing the leather if you can right there. Goaltenders love doing that, and he looked good doing it as well. Don't take any chances as well. That thing was coming in hot, so get your glove on that. Just make sure it can't catch the bar.
So still 1:02 remaining in the power play as we have Simak on for this draw against Kratsios. Cornell winning possession off the draw. Now let's see if they can get that clear. They get it all the way cleared down the ice as that one went through the legs of Matthew Usinski. Kratsios doing a little bit of what we saw Binghamton doing in the first period, that heavy pressure on the penalty kill.
It's effective.
As they create a little bit of a turnover there and make things just that much more difficult on Binghamton's breakout. They do finally break that pressure as Justin Franks carries it through the neutral zone with a lot of time and space to work with. Now he gets it all the way deep into the offensive end, feeds a pass back to Clares. Clares with a little bit of difficulty handling that pass. Cornell might get a chance to get it out here, but good play there by Owen Roll to come in and offer that puck support and make sure that it stayed in the zone and allowed Binghamton to set up their power play again. 19 seconds remaining on the power play as Usinski has it at the midpoint. Cross-ice passing onto the tape of Clares. His shot looking for that top corner off the shoulder of Siegel. Nice save there as Binghamton was starting to connect on that cross-ice passing that is the hallmark of their power play attack.
Yes, it is, and that shot was labeled. Really nice job there by Jeremy Siegel to get up high in his butterfly to get his shoulder on that high-rising wrist shot. Got it, and then that thing, I've never seen a puck shoot so high out of play like that. That thing had to have been moving for that to hit a shoulder and shoot up like that.
Binghamton making another change here, getting a different group out there. It's actually the top forward line again as they look to maybe carry some momentum after this power play. 7 seconds remaining on the Cornell penalty. as they get the clear. This is going to be Grayson Shaw into the offensive zone, makes a move and almost gets free, then gets taken down, and Cornell's going to get the power play here just as the Cornell penalty was expiring.
So we had a lot of 5-on-5 minus a 5-on-3 and an early penalty kill in the first period. We are going back pretty much back-to-back, 4 straight minutes with each team's getting a crack at the power play, and you got to think, if one of these teams can connect on the power play, we might see some floodgates open, whether it's the other team in response or maybe a team getting an edge. But looks like special teams is going to be a huge factor in this game, as it almost always is in any hockey game.
Cornell had a pair of opportunities on the power play in the first period. Actually, one of those was a 5-on-3 for 47 seconds. Binghamton did an excellent job of killing off both of those penalties, maybe even gained some momentum from that 5-on-3 kill. Let's see whether or not they have that same aggressiveness that they showed in the first period. Cornell setting it up here on the near side, back out to the midpoint as Padmanabhan gets that pass across to Shaw. Padmanabhan now back at the midpoint as he gets it across here. Shot is then taken from the top of the circle by Brown, but it hits a stick and goes wide. Now back to the far point. Padmanabhan with a man on him as he can't get it down low in the zone. Good defense there by Corey Foster, killing off a little bit more of this penalty. 30 seconds now gone in the man advantage for Cornell. Again, Binghamton being aggressive there with their penalty kill forecheck, making it a little bit difficult for Cornell to move it up ice, but eventually Dysert gets it into the offensive zone. Now feeds a backhand in behind the net. Almost hit the referee and then kind of came slowly back out in front of the net. Bloodgood saw enough of that to decide he wanted to slow things down a little bit, put the catching hand over top of that, and forces a whistle. Now Binghamton getting 4 fresh penalty killers out there with 1:16 to go in the penalty.
Yeah, when Cornell threatens you with speed, you're probably better off to just kill the player right there, because they can buzz, and they were looking to maybe try and vulture around and pick up a garbage puck. That's, they all count the same, and both teams are just trying to get that first one.
Battle for the puck just inside the blue line. Binghamton getting the better part of that one. Stappenbeck now up ice. He's got Clares coming in with him. Tries to get it in front of Clares. Just a little bit behind him is good defense there by Cornell. They had to be careful there to defend that potential 2-on-1 setting up there shorthanded.
Cornell is doing a great job on those rushes, but you really, really do not want to keep playing with that kind of fire against this Binghamton offense.
Padmanabhan carrying it out from behind his net as 45 seconds still remain on this Cornell power play. Good stick in the lane of that pass there as Grew got enough of that one to send it to a teammate. Now get the clear down the ice. Now Grew putting some pressure on again in that far corner. 3 different Cornell players on him, and that's what it takes to finally dislodge it, as there are now 30 seconds remaining on this Binghamton penalty, and just as effective as they were in the first period killing this one off so far. Let's see how they can do for the last 20 seconds. Padmanabhan into the offensive zone, drops a backhand pass there, but they were making a change at the time. That's going to be just about what Binghamton needs to kill off the rest of this penalty. Only 11 seconds remaining in it, as going back to pick up the puck here is Harry Akins.
He's been good these last 2 games.
I think all of the defensemen we've seen from Cornell have been probably, it's hard to say that their forwards aren't their strength because they have a lot of great forwards. Their defense, though, has been excellent in what we've seen both yesterday and this afternoon so far. Binghamton with an opportunity in transition, as that's Justin Franks letting a hard snapshot go from the face-off dot. That was again the defenseman Max Clares leading the charge, getting it deep into the offensive zone, then feeding that pass back. Another save made by Siegel as it stays a 0-0 game. We're more than halfway through this contest, waiting to see which team will break the ice.
Binghamton is beginning to test Siegel quite a bit more than they did in the first period, and Siegel has been up to the task each and every time. This feels a lot like Cornell Niagara might have felt. It's back and forth. Goaltenders are on their game today. Maybe we're going to get one of those high-powered offense, low-scoring games. First defense to break, is the one that loses.
The good thing about high-powered offenses and skilled skaters is they have the ability to be just as effective defensively if their focus is on that. And I think that's what you're seeing here today is both teams, while they know they have the offensive ability, they're not going to give any easy opportunities to the opponent because they have that respect for them.
Yep, when you respect your opponent, you can play your game while not playing reckless, and that's what's happening right here.
Chance in front for Cornell as a loose puck comes free. Shot coming in from the far side there is letting that one go as Benko. Pretty easy save by Bloodgood. Maybe a bouncing puck. Looks like we're going to have a penalty called, though, as the referee is signaling a slashing call, and I think this is going to be Cornell taking this penalty.
Bloodgood, he cartwheeled, so that's going to be 20. That's number 21.
Grayson Shaw taking the penalty there, trying to dig for that rebound. And again, it's going to be Binghamton going to the power play as seeing this game being tightly officiated. We saw a little bit of that yesterday as well with the Cornell game against Buffalo State. This one maybe even more tightly officiated, whereas anything that even resembles a penalty is being called. That's certainly been the case here in the second period. I don't think we've had more than 4 minutes of 5-on-5 play in this period.
No, we really haven't. And then the thing is, when we were at 5-on-5, there were icings every 3 seconds. So, I mean, it's been a lot of special teams. No, I mean, it can be exciting. So another high-powered chance on this power play.
Saved by Siegel on the shot there by Max Clares. Now a battle for the puck on the near side. It's won by Binghamton, and now back to the point. That shot by Simak with the screen in front, just missing wide as Justin Franks was camped out right in front of the netminder. Players switching positions. Good little action there up top by Binghamton, as it was Usinski switching spots there and getting that pass connected with, but unable to get it past the goaltender as the puck is cleared all the way back into the Cornell offensive zone. Usinski picking it up and starting the breakout on the near side. Drops it back for Franks. He's got a man on him. Had to be quick to move that one up ice, and it's going to give Cornell a chance to clear it back into the offensive zone. Right in on Bloodgood as he sets it up for his defenseman Clares. Again, heavy pressure being put on here by Cornell, as seems that both teams are now looking to pressure on the penalty kill. Into the offensive zone. This is Simak. He takes a bump and now feeds a pass in behind the net. Binghamton getting that power play setup going. Shot coming from the point. Clares with a lot on that one. The screen just barely cleared before that shot came through. I think Siegel had a pretty clear eye on that one. Even though it had a lot on it, he was able to make a pretty easy save on it.
Yep, and again, what I'm noticing from Siegel as well, he has an uncanny ability to see through the screens. He is making great saves after great saves, and right there, a really, really heavy shot there by number 4, Max Clares, a player we are both extremely, extremely impressed with. Great save there, and also great to not allow the rebound.
See a player trying to get a penalty drawn there. This time it's not coming from the officials who have been calling this period tightly. Still 40 seconds remaining on this Binghamton power play. Puck at the midpoint. McKee tries to get a shot through. Rebound opportunity is there. Scramble for a loose puck. Comes out to McHenry.
Oh,
his shot, though, hit a man in the back. Getting that block there was Harry Akins, as that one hit him in the back along the goal crease.
Oh, my gosh. Harry Akins had to have gone to the Jay McKee School of Defense. He's using everything attached to his body to block shots. Outstanding defense right there.
15 seconds remaining in the power play. Shot by O'Brien is blocked on its way through. Good job by Benko to get a piece of that. Comes back through the slot dangerously there for a moment. Now back to McKee. His shot from the midpoint right in on goal. Siegel making the save. The rebound is there. Finally falls on top of it. Just 1 second now remaining in the power play, as Cornell has done an excellent job here despite a lot of pressure from Binghamton.
Man, Siegel brought his game today. We were treated to some stuff here because we got Alexei Rogotkin yesterday, and now we got Siegel flopping all over the place, making save after save after save.
So 1 second now remains on this power play. And set up here at the point is Maraxa and Henderson on for this draw. We get the line of Foster, Stappenbeck, and Cullen as they win control right off the draw. Player comes out of the penalty box as a shot comes right in on goal by Henderson, as we now back to 5-on-5 here.
Finally,
6:36 to go here in the second period. See how long we play 5-on-5 for.
Yeah, exactly.
So face off on the far side, scrambled there as both teams look for possession. Foster finding it. He's had an excellent game this afternoon. Gets that puck free and gets it to a teammate. Now goes towards the front of the net. Almost gets control of that one and brings it out in front. Good play again by Siegel as he made sure he threw that glove on top of it before Foster could get that pass out in front.
And again, Binghamton has had almost exclusive zone time for the last 4 minutes of game time. They're looking to feed the slot similar to the way the Cornell runs their offense. And again, the defense and goaltending for Cornell, it's a hallmark of their team as well as their offense. But today, those are the stars that are shining brightest right now for the Big Red.
Bearcats looking to establish more offensive zone time, but they can't get it for very long. As up ice comes the Cornell Big Red into the offensive zone. This is Max Miller leading the charge, the defenseman. Puck on the far side being battled for in that corner. 2-on-2 battle for it. It's going to be Binghamton getting it out of the corner, connecting to Cullen. Cullen then finds Stappenbeck, who has to play the puck out of midair, but he does find control of it. Now has possession along the near side. Tries to get it to a teammate in behind the net, but Cornell getting in the way of that one. Can't get it out of the zone, though. Shot comes in from the point, and a perfect redirection as Cullen gets perfect amount on that one to redirect that shot up over the blocker arm of the netminder. It's 1-0 Binghamton. They've been circling the offensive zone for a while. finally break through with a beautiful redirection.
And that is how you were going to beat a goaltender that's playing on Siegel's level today. The first shot has not been able to get by him or get a rebound, so you got to change direction right in front of him, and that is what Cullen did right there. Tips it over the arm under the bar, and Binghamton finally gets on the board. So now let's see how the Cornell Big Red respond.
A textbook redirection shot there as Kevin Cullen picking up his 4th goal of the season, giving Binghamton the lead here. It took a while, took almost 35 minutes to get the first goal here in this game, but finally Binghamton has broken through. Now they're looking to add to it. 2-on-1 into the offensive zone. Rebound opportunity put home as it's Christopher Simak getting that rebound right on the tape in the mid-slot, making no mistake with a half-empty net. It's now 2-0 Binghamton as they strike twice in quick succession.
What do we say, Aaron? Once a team got one, it could open the floodgates, and right there, almost immediately, Cornell gets the face-off, gets a shot, and then Binghamton comes flying back 2-on-1. Great low shot for the rebound in front, and Simak bangs home the rebound.
It was the puck came out of the Binghamton zone right to the point. Defenseman was unable to keep it in on the pinch there for Cornell. That led to the 2-on-1 in the other direction. It was the rebound shot that ended up being put home by Simak, and his 7th of the season has given Binghamton the lead here 2-0 as just 14 seconds between those two goals. Binghamton is certainly now looking to put their foot on the gas pedal here in this one. They've had the edge in play through probably the last 15 minutes of action, despite there being kind of traded power plays back and forth. They are now starting to put their imprint on this game, getting the first 2 goals here in the second period.
Yep, absolutely, because it's been power plays, but a 5-on-5, it's been mostly all Binghamton since probably the midway point of the first period. Cornell's got to readjust right here and get back to their game right now, because Binghamton, whoever they're playing, they can run away with one if you let them.
Simak carries it in across the blue line, makes a move to get free of one man, lets a shot in on goal. There's a rebound there for Roll. His shot goes off the pad of the goaltender Siegel as Binghamton is looking to get as many goals in as short a period of time as possible, it seems.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm for that strategy.
Counterplay as it's carried up ice. This is Harry Akins into the offensive zone. Again, we're seeing that big mobile defensive unit leading the way for Cornell. Unable to get a chance generated off of that, and this might be an opportunity in the other direction.
Binghamton figured something out with Cornell's defense. They are being very opportunistic when a defenseman leads the rush down low. As soon as that's off the defenseman's stick, that puck is out, and they're trying to cause a rush.
Puck on the far side is, again, it's going to be Akins looking to carry it up ice. A little bit out of his reach. He eventually gets it along to Brown. And Brown just getting it in across the blue line, but Binghamton's going to be able to come back in the other direction pretty quickly. As the puck is now just inside the Binghamton blue line. Good pressure being put on by Brown. Back to Dysert. His shot off the post and crossbar junction as he had that top right corner labeled, just unable to find it with that shot. A beautiful looking snapshot. Another shot comes from the point. Rebound opportunity there. Unable to find control of it though was Brown, as he had almost an empty net there to put it into. Just couldn't get control of the puck. Good response there from Cornell here on this shift as they look to get back into this game trailing by 2. Dump it into the offensive zone. They get a fresh line out there as it's going to be O'Brien looking to start it up ice. Connects on a cross-ice pass. Actually goes off the stick of McKendry. And now Pad Manaban setting up in front of his net for Cornell. Pass through the neutral zone. That one bounces off of a stick and now back into the Cornell end. Carrying it up ice and connecting on the pass is Miller. Bouncing puck in the skates of Bement, and he carries it in across the blue line. Just tries to dump it in, but O'Brien getting in the way of that one. Trying to get it up ice quickly. That pass just a little bit too far for its intended target. Now Cornell looking to bring it back in the other direction. Getting a piece of that one was Shaw, and now he puts some pressure on the defenseman here in the near corner, but it's going to be Binghamton again clearing it out quickly and getting it up ice. They're really looking to stretch the Cornell defense when they get a chance to. Shot coming there from the far side as that was Franks getting a snapshot in on goal.
Dang.
Actually just barely off the net, and a big collision here on the near boards.
They got them both. That's a bad penalty for Cornell.
And we have a pair of penalties being called here.
Threw a punch.
As was the original one coming to Binghamton, and then it was the follow-up to the Cornell player was called?
I can't tell because I saw the hit, and then after the hit, then the retaliation came. So I don't know. Here's the hit was at the blue line.
Yeah, Maroxa came in and laid a big hit on him, knocked the man down, and then it was the player coming to the defense of the Cornell player that got hit on the play.
It was delayed.
Yeah, that looks like it's the second penalty that's being called. Do they have the player that's guilty of this Cornell penalty yet? Because I don't see anyone in the box for Cornell.
No, he might have snuck off the ice. I don't know why players think that's going to work. They're going to find you anyway. It's not like they're just going to not call the penalty if you get off the ice.
And it's Max Miller for the roughing penalty. He was on the bench trying to hide from it. Now he's trying to go to the wrong penalty box. Very rare that you see an arena with the penalty box and the bench on one side and the other penalty box and the bench on the other side. You only see it in a few arenas. It's a little bit jarring, and it's tough to get used to. Usually you're used to going across to get to the penalty box.
Yeah, this is like an upstate New York kind of deal. Like I know St. Lawrence does this, Oswego does it, and if I'm not mistaken, Clarkson does it as well. I don't think it's the worst idea, to be honest, but still it is different. And the way the referee's crease is not cut in half by the red line, it actually is upsetting me.
It definitely just looks different. It's just tough to get used to. I think if we saw more games here, we certainly wouldn't complain about that, but we'd definitely be used to this setup.
It's certainly not a complaint. I mean, if this is the only thing I can say about this rink that's not the greatest thing ever, I think the rink's doing a great job.
4-on-4 play here is what we have after those penalties. An opportunity for Binghamton, and a hard snapshot gets past the netminder. Thomas McKee ripping it home. It's now 3-0 Binghamton as they have opened the floodgates here in the latter part of the second period.
Where have we seen this before? Binghamton gets 1, they get 2, they get 3. That is what you can have with this team. And when a big man like Thomas McKee gets a head of steam going and he lets one rip, he can fire it. And right there, he got a bomb off, and he puts it right inside the blocker side post, and it's 3-0 Bearcats in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, McKee having a hot weekend. He scored 4 goals yesterday. He's added to that total here today. He's up to 9 on the season. One of those dangerous offensive players in this Binghamton lineup. And they're striking there from the differdifferent positions there in that dangerous lineup. And now they have the 3-0 lead with 2 minutes to go here in the second period. See what sort of response we get here from Cornell as they have 2 minutes to really make a little bit of a pushback here in this contest, as they're definitely on their heels now at this point in the game.
This is uncharted territory for this team, and they're gonna get a chance.
You're gonna get a power play here. Is getting taken down on the play was Dysert. They get the goaltender out of the crease and now look to set up the 6-on-5, but a good play by Grew to get the touch and possession of that to get the penalty called. So we have a tripping call going against Binghamton here. And it's going to be Stappenbeck taking the penalty. So a 4-on-3 coming up here for Cornell. Let's see what this dangerous power play can do with the 4-on-3 opportunity.
I mean, this is something Cornell has a power play good enough to get them back into this game. That's going to start right here.
Yeah,
so
20 power play goals already on the season. So this is, and we saw them establishing themselves as a good power play unit. They didn't really create any major scoring opportunities with their man advantages so far. But this is a big opportunity here, being able to play 4-on-3 with a lot of empty ice out there to work it around. They win the first faceoff as well.
Step 1 complete.
Padmanaband setting it up along the blue line. Gets that pass back from Shaw. Now looking for that shooting lane. Ends up passing it off to the side. Dysert's shot is blocked, though, on its way through. Leaving his feet to make that play was Christopher Simak. Back to the point. Dysert circling now here at the right point. Gets it back to the midpoint where Padmanaband's looking for a lane. Gets it through. It gets redirected and it goes through the legs of the goaltender. It's now 3-1 as it's a power play goal for the Cornell Big Red. And I think it's going to go to the defenseman, Joey Padmanaband.
Yeah, if he's going to get it initially, and that is a great play there on the power play. The captain, Padmanaband, backs up. Not quite the blue line because they're in tight, but he holds his point position. Shoots a seeing eye shot. It had to have hit something on its way in. I'm not sure if it's Alex Allen, a defenseman, or the goaltender. I don't think anybody in red and white cares right now. The puck's in the net. The shutout's broken. And Cornell gets that goal where they can start feeling good about themselves.
That was absolutely what the Big Red needed here in this game, because they were certainly being pushed to the brink here in the second period. Those 3 quick goals by Binghamton, the first 2 coming within 14 seconds. And being able to get on the board before the end of the period, that's key. That's going to give them the life that they need in the third period, as well as for the last minute here of the second. However, this is going to be Simak finding control of it as we go back to 4-on-4 play. Just under a minute as Simak circles into his own zone and looks to find some open ice. Back into center ice. Now cross ice pass to Max Clares. Clares just dumps a backhand into the offensive zone, and Simak over here again. Now the first one to it.
I envy him so much being able to skate the way he does. It hurts my lungs to watch him do this.
Puck is turned over as Dysert takes it away from a Binghamton player. Now looking to start it up the far side. Players back onto the ice after the coincidental minors, as it's now 5-on-5 play here for the last 27 seconds of the period. Loose puck here in the neutral zone, played along by Usinski as they get it into the offensive zone. Now Binghamton looking for one last opportunity here in the offensive end. That pass came out in front from Roll, unable to get it past the sliding defenseman there for Cornell. Now Kratsios up ice, just barely avoiding a big hit there by O'Brien. Gets it into the offensive zone, almost draws a penalty. You would have thought that would have gotten a call based on the way the rest of the game has been called. Kratsios, though, does get a shot away.
If he goes down, he probably gets that call.
Ends up getting the opportunity, though, from in tight. Bloodgood making the save, and then we have a collision there at the end of the period just as the horn goes. A little bit of conversation continuing after that, but not too much coming out of that. It took a while here, Sean, for the ice to get broken, but once we finally got the first goal at the 14-minute mark or so here in the second period, then it was 4 more pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was what we wanted. We got the defense and the goaltending in the first period, got it early in the second, and then Binghamton just kicked the door in, and then the goals just flowed. Binghamton getting a redirection, a rebound, and then just an absolute snipe. And then Cornell comes down on the power play, and a seeing eye shot finds its way through, and that's how you beat a goaltender like Bloodgood. Just fire it into traffic and get the bounce.
So it was a very quick surge there by Binghamton, grabbing control of this game. Looked like they were just going to take this one into the locker room with a 3-0 lead. They did, however, take that penalty there late in the period, and Cornell making them pay for that on the 4-on-3. Joey Padmanaban getting the power play goal and getting his team back into this game, making it a little bit more dramatic going into third period play.
Yep. I think we're going to be geared up for an intense and fast-paced third period. I'm curious to see who gets the first one, because it'll set the tone for the rest of the period, obviously. I mean, if Cornell gets one, we got a 1-goal game for an entire period. Binghamton gets one, they can maybe even start thinking about trying to lock this thing down.
So it's a 3-1 score after 2 periods of play. It is the Binghamton Bearcats out in front. And our coverage of the UNYCHL is presented by Buffalo Golf & Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. With simulators, lessons, and leagues, Buffalo Golf & Social is the area's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. Also a great selection of beer and wine, so it makes it the perfect place to sit and watch golf with others who love the game. Locations downtown and in Orchard Park. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf & Social. This broadcast also brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Find them online at militello.com. Support also comes from West Her, the largest automotive dealership group in New York State, selling over 50,000 pre-owned and new cars to residents of Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse every year. West Her Auto, dedicated to absolute excellence in customer service. Supporters for this broadcast also include the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, commercial, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Contact them, 716-675-5700. Support also comes from Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Find them online, enviousgameware.com. And support also coming from 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. We're going to step away here for the second intermission as we have a 3-1 score after 2 periods of play. It is the visitors, the Binghamton Bearcats, with the lead after 2 periods of play. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for period number 3. Stay tuned as we bring you live coverage of the UNYCHL right here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Our broadcasts this weekend are brought to you by the Hampton Inn Ithaca. For your next trip to Ithaca, book your stay with the Hampton Inn. Daily breakfast, pool, gym, and business center are all included. Take in all of the natural beauty of the Finger Lakes and the area around Ithaca, and have all the comforts of home waiting for you at the Hampton Inn. 337 Elmira Road, not far from downtown Ithaca or the Cornell campus, 607-277-5500. Our coverage this weekend in Ithaca made possible by the Hampton Inn Ithaca. Whether you're traveling through the area, visiting kids at college, or in town on business, the Hampton Inn Ithaca is the smart choice for your stay. Free Wi-Fi and a daily breakfast are included, plus access to the pool, gym, and business center. Enjoy all the wonders of Ithaca and the Finger Lakes area, and leave the rest to the staff at the Hampton Inn. 337 Elmira Road, not far from downtown Ithaca or the Cornell campus, 607-277-5500.
There's benefits to practicing both indoors and outdoors, but one of the great things about practicing indoors here, with the technology we have, that golf ball, whatever it's doing in here, is exactly what it's doing outside. So using it here allows you the opportunity to change, to play around with your numbers, to see what fits you best and how your eye sees the golf shot, and able to then allow you to have the repetition to do it on the course under pressure, time in and time out. I think one of the best things about having an instructor that you could rely on is you have someone to bounce ideas off of, and sometimes they're there just to remind you that one thing you could have forgot about from a few lessons ago. An instructor's job is to also help keep you on track with the end game, or the end goal I should say, in sight, and slowly but surely getting to that point. I like to empower you to understand everything that's going on, so that when I'm not with you or you are on the golf course, you can know exactly why you had that mishit and be able to then fix it immediately and enjoy the rest of your round, keep your round under control, and continue progressing forward.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
And welcome back to the Lynah Rink on the campus of Cornell University. We're set for third period play here in the UNYCHL. It is Cornell against Binghamton. After 40 minutes played, it is the Binghamton Bearcats leading by a score of 3-1. Our coverage of the UNYCHL is brought to you by Buffalo Golf and Social, the presenting sponsor of UNYCHL hockey on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Buffalo Golf and Social is the best destination for year-round practice and instruction in Western New York. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern on for the call of today's game alongside color commentator Sean McHugh as we get ready for third period play, and it was a long time before we got our first goal here in this game. It was with about 6 minutes to go in the second period, but then the floodgates opened up pretty quickly. We had 4 goals before the period was over.
Absolutely. It was goaltending and defense was the story of the game until the last 5 minutes, like you said, when Binghamton just buried 3 in a row from 3 different spots, and then an unfortunate penalty for Binghamton leading to a 4-on-3 gets Cornell on the board to get it back to a 2-goal game. So I expect all the stops to be pulled in this period, and I expect to see 2 teams fighting for the top spot in their division tonight.
Yeah, we saw a very fast start to the second period with both teams exchanging chances in the first 45 seconds. Didn't necessarily continue that way through the rest of the period, but I would expect both teams to come out very quickly and with a lot of intensity here in this game. Cornell got the last goal in this game, so they had a little bit of extra life coming out of the locker room here for the third period. Let's see which team can win that first shift, the first couple of shifts here in period number 3.
Yeah, the next goal is going to be huge right here, Aaron, and if it comes quickly, it'll be even more monumental.
And right away, we get both teams' top lines out there on the ice as both sides try to grab that early advantage here in period number 3. We got a little bit of an equipment issue there on the far side. Alex Allen getting his helmet all situated to the referee's liking. We're underway with period number 3. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Binghamton dumping it into the offensive zone right away, now looking to establish some zone time. Pass comes back to the point. Claire's here at the right point. He's got a man in front, tried to get that redirection shot. It ended up going just wide. Now the puck in that far corner as the teams battle for possession. It's swung around behind the net. Now back to Claire's here at the point. Gets it through traffic again. That shot redirected by Roll, just barely wide of the near post. Finding control of it's going to be Christopher Simak. He has one of the Binghamton goals today.
Oh, ice isn't dry yet.
Yeah, ice is a little bit wet out there, and we've seen the puck stop a couple of times. Binghamton seems to be taking advantage of that, and they've been able to maintain some zone time because of that. Cornell finally getting possession. Dennis Brown settles it down, and now a chance for Pat Manaban to carry it up here on the near side. Pat Manaban through the neutral zone, evades one player, finally gets it into the offensive zone. Now a couple of different Cornell players over there to offer some pressure. Binghamton, though, getting away from that pressure with seeming ease as Roll floats it through the neutral zone, almost connects on a teammate there at the far blue line. Good hit there right along the Cornell blue line as it was number 21, Grayson Shaw, stepping into his man right along the blue.
Physical play isn't going anywhere. That much is obvious right now, Aaron.
Justin Franks collecting a pass there on the far side, just gets it into the neutral zone where there's a little bit of a battle for it. It's going to be Cornell, though, coming away from that battle with Julian Bement finding it. He gets knocked off of it. Now it comes back through the neutral zone. Bement gets control yet again. That's wet ice, maybe causing a little bit more difficulties as he seemed to struggle with possession there along the blue line. Cornell, though, putting some pressure on here in that far corner. Shaw's got control of it. Got 2 men on him as he tries to get that pass out in front. Gets some support eventually from a teammate. Then it bounces out in front almost perfectly onto the stick of Bement as the shot came in from the point by Akins. Just couldn't quite settle that down to get a shot away. Almost 2 minutes here into the third period as it's going to be Cornell getting a chance with a shot in front of the net, and a rebound opportunity is put home. It is the defenseman Franklin Berry getting the goal. It's 3-2 now. We talked about that next goal being huge. The Cornell Big Red got it.
Yes, they did, and it's the defense again, the strength of their team, leading the rush right here. And again, a shot from the point. It finds its way to the back of the net, traffic in front, and just like that, Cornell gets it back to a 1-goal game.
Yeah, the rebound shot, the opportunity in front of the net put home, and opportunistic there from the Cornell Big Red, getting that goal here and taking the a little bit of that lead away from Binghamton and maybe grabbing some of that third period momentum that we were eager to see which side would grab here in the early going.
Well, they're about to get an offensive zone faceoff.
Get an icing after the faceoff is down, and Binghamton is guilty of that icing infraction, so they'll have to go back into their own zone, play a little bit of defense. Got some intrigue now to the third period, Sean, as the last 2 goals in this game have been scored by Cornell after it was the 3 quick ones in succession there in period number 3.
And that's 5 goals in less than 10 minutes of game time.
And it took a while to get that first one. This might end up being a 6-5 game by the time we're done with it.
Sign me up for all of that, Aaron.
2-on-2 break here for Binghamton. They get it into the offensive zone. Todorovic just dumping it in on goal. Puck comes out to the near side, and Weinstein's going to try to break it out of the zone, but 2 Binghamton players quickly on him, and McHenry swings it down low. Todorovic putting some pressure on Wang there on the far side. Wang reverses it and then takes a big hit behind the net. Cornell's going to get a chance to carry it out of the zone, though, but good back checking there as creating a loose puck on the play was Hayden Sutter. Puck in front of the Cornell bench, sent to the offensive zone for the Big Red, as Weinstein unable to get control of that one, battling against a couple different Binghamton players just inside the blue line. Eventually the cavalry comes, but a little bit too late. Now Hayden Sutter bringing it up ice, drops that pass back into the slot. Nicholas Perry letting a shot go. Siegel making the skate save, keeping this one a 3-2 hockey game. Pad Manaban picking it up here on the near side. He's got some speed up that near side, but a good defensive play by Stappenbeck to knock it off of his stick. Allen now picking up this pass here in the neutral zone, dumps it into the offensive end. He's got a teammate putting some pressure on. That's Dennis Brown in the corner. Creates a loose puck and now has a couple of teammates there to help him out. Dysert trying to find control of it behind the net. Comes out to that far corner where it's picked up by Todorovic, and Binghamton starts up ice. Stappenbeck across the blue line, tries to get a shot through, but good defense there as it was Pad Manaban getting the deflection on that one and sending it wide. Now a loose puck in the far corner as 2 players collide, trying to get possession, and fed up that far wall by Miller, but it's not going to be out of the zone there by Cornell. Almost a shot in on goal there by Stappenbeck. Clares slides in from his point position to keep the play moving, and ends up coming to Foster there on the far side. He gets it back to the point. O'Brien just inside the blue line. Make sure it stays in the offensive zone, as it took him an extra second just to get the handle on that pass. As Binghamton establishing some zone time here, a little bit of a response from that early Cornell goal here in the period. Cornell maybe trying to sneak a guy out into the neutral zone, trying to soften up the defense as you saw a player streaking free there, Dennis Brown into the neutral zone. Doesn't really work out for Cornell, though, as they lose possession. It's sent right back in on goal. Binghamton executes a change, and they're going to get an offensive zone draw with some fresh skaters out there as well.
Not a bad thing to have happen right there. Binghamton, they did a really nice job of responding and not getting blown back on their heels. They came out swinging a little bit to get some of that momentum back. So far, so good. Good response by Binghamton, but I do not expect Cornell to let up even a little bit.
Yeah, we have the Binghamton top line out here now. Let's see what sort of pressure they can put on after the previous shift was in the offensive zone. Puck is kept in at the point, takes a funny bounce and comes out in front. Might have hit the referee and behind the net. Cornell doesn't end up getting a scoring chance off of it, and they get it out of the zone. And now it's back along the Cornell blue line as they move it up ice. With that pass too far for its intended target, that's going to go for, thought it was going to go for icing. I didn't see anybody wave it off. I thought I saw one official calling it there on the backside, but no icing is called. And we play on with about 15 minutes to go here in the third period. Cornell trying to get it up the near side, but Shaw losing control of it. Back into the offensive zone now is going to be Usinski, but we get a late offsides call and a little bit of stick tangling there between the 2 players there into the zone. Nothing really coming out of that, though, and we'll get a neutral zone draw coming up with 15:02 now remaining in period number 3. It's a 3-2 hockey game, but Cornell's made it a little bit tighter here in the last few minutes.
Yes, they have, and not only did they score, but they're putting pressure on as well. But again, Binghamton, they're not going to get blown back on their heels. They're going to take the punch, they're going to spit their tooth out, and they're going to swing back right there. And that joke is because that happened to me once with a hockey stick, so I'm sensitive. Okay, that's a penalty. Oh, they got it. Okay, great.
Yeah, we got a Cornell penalty coming up here as the stick was slashed out of a Binghamton player's hand. Now here in the offensive zone as Binghamton tries to set up some control. I didn't think that Cornell had gained possession there of the puck, but we do have the penalty call. It's an interference. Oh, no, we have 2 penalties. It's one aside being called. That's why it was blown dead pretty quickly.
Oh, that's tough there for Binghamton because they had the delayed penalty.
Yeah, and then Usinski ends up taking a penalty trying to get the extra advantage there as they were trying to play 6-on-5 with the goalie pulled. So interesting turn of events there. It looked like it was going to be a Binghamton power play coming up, but the second penalty called before the whistle's blown, and now we have 4-on-4 yet again.
4-on-4 is fun, though, with these 2 teams. There's a lot of open ice, and there's a lot of guys that like to move the puck as well.
See who we have out here for this draw. It's going to be Franks on the wing alongside McKee for Binghamton. And then on the offensive side from the other team, it's going to be Brown for Cornell, and then taking the draw is Dysert.
And then he's got Padmanabhan, and he's got Miller behind him. Well, Padmanabhan's lined up on the wing, but the defensemen are Miller and Padmanabhan.
Cornell winning possession of the draw. Let's see what they can do with this. Is obviously more open ice out there playing 4-on-4. Connect on a pass, and this is Dennis Brown in the neutral zone. Gets it to Dysart, and he sends a backhand into the offensive zone. One-on-one battle there. It's won by Brown, and Cornell keeps possession of it, but that pass doesn't connect. And let's see what O'Brien can do here on the near side. Just dumps it out on the backhand through the neutral zone. Is this one going to go for icing? Yes, it is.
No, they waved it.
Oh, they finally did wave it off as Max Miller was trying to avoid playing the puck there. Eventually, the referees were wise to that move and waved that call off very late. I was ready to call it an icing at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the puck had some spin on it, like a good wedge shot. It slowed up like right as it got below the dot.
Binghamton trying to put some pressure on here as we continue 4-on-4 for another minute 10.
Oh, he got lucky on that. That was really, really, really courageous is the word I'll use. And now he's got some ice.
Padmanabhan up the far side as he gets away from one Binghamton player, tries to step around his defensive counterpart, but O'Brien throws his shoulder into it and knocks him down in that far corner.
That was called a penalty in the second, just saying.
I was looking for the referees on that one as well, but no call on this one. Maybe the third period is going to be played a little bit more.
I'm indifferent on that rule, but I just want to say that exact play was called a penalty.
That's true. That is true. Opportunity for Dysart to let a shot go, just barely missing that top corner as he let that snapshot go from the mid-slot. Puck is kept in on the far side, but Akins falls on the play, and that gives O'Brien a chance to carry it up ice. His shot doesn't get through, eventually gets to Siegel, but pretty slowly by the time it finally gets to the netminder. O'Brien then coming looking for that rebound as Siegel covers it up, and we get a stoppage in play with 13:10 remaining in regulation, 29 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4.
Yep, and really it's surprising. Well, not surprising, but we thought we might see some speed. Actually, this might be some of the most lockdown defense we've seen since the first period at even strength, where both teams had the same number of skaters on the ice. But again, both of these teams have a commitment to defense as much as they have offense, and we're seeing it on display today. I mean, other than just a quick run in the second, it's been a good defensive game.
Battle for a puck here in the near corner. It's going to be Christopher Simak
going
back and forth with the stop and starts. Aiken staying with him. That was a great one-on-one battle here in the near corner. Puck comes back to the point. Henderson has an opportunity to let a shot through. That hits a body in front and goes wide. And now Cornell going to pick up the puck on the far side as Nepper tries to get it out from around behind the net.
Oh, good defense by Akins again, or it was a poke check.
Yeah, good pressure, though, being put on here by Binghamton as they continue to move in the offensive zone. The two coincidental penalties have been released as Usinski here in the offensive end finds control of it, gets it to roll. Now back to the point to Henderson. Gets that shot through, but kind of a rolling puck on him, unable to get as much on it and as much direction as he might have wanted on that shot. Ends up going just wide, and now he has to go back into his own zone to start the breakout. That pass is intercepted as Cornell looks to counter now from their own blue line. But it comes right back into the offensive zone for Binghamton as they making a change there on the far side. Simak just played it off the boards, then went for the change, and that gives Cornell the opportunity to move it up ice. Here in the offensive zone, it's Kratsios turning and spinning here on the near wall. He's got two different men on him, but a little bit of defensive support coming in as well. Connor Burke now trying to get it away from the Binghamton player. A little bit of a foot race back into the Cornell zone as the puck comes out towards the front of the net. Now back towards the slot. A hand pass being called here. And we have a stoppage in play with 11:45 remaining in regulation. 3-2 is the Binghamton lead, and they'll get a chance to possibly add some more zone time here. Yes, we do have an offensive zone draw coming up for Binghamton on the glove hand side of the netminder, Jeremy Siegel.
Yeah, but Binghamton, again, they have had a penchant today of tilting the ice in their favor for minutes at a time, and that is what is happening right now. Cornell is going to try to get their defense active in the rush. Here they come, and look at this. Here comes Padmanabhan jumping right up into the rush.
It's Bement carrying it across the blue line, and there's Padmanabhan here on the near side, joining the offense as we've seen throughout these two games from Cornell in their active defense.
That looked like it hurt.
Player going down in the ice there, but it moves up ice for Binghamton nonetheless. Now along the Cornell blue line, moved up ice by Shaw, connecting on a pass with number 23 Benko, but he takes a little bit of a bump there. Was maybe a penalty there. Again, that might be one of those ones that was called a little bit tighter earlier on.
I'm not mad that they didn't call it, but I've seen it called.
Yes. Great move there to get free on the offensive zone as that was Hayden Sutter walking across his man. Just couldn't maintain possession of it to get the shot away. But a brilliant move just to get himself free in the offensive zone there.
Took 2.5 periods for me to get one of those noises out, but it warranted it there.
Shot in on goal there from Cornell, handled by Bloodgood with the glove hand. And we'll get an offensive zone draw coming up for the Big Red. 10:52 remaining here in regulation. It's a 3-2 Binghamton lead. But this is kind of a back-and-forth third period. Cornell with the only goal of the period. Both teams, though, getting some opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, it's been back and forth. It's been back and forth minus, that one run where Binghamton had exclusive zone time for like 4 minutes. And they're looking to create an odd man rush, but just back-checking D by Cornell. They don't quit on any play ever.
Cornell's top line out here as they try to put some offensive zone pressure on. They had the offensive zone draw, but they're unable to keep it in the zone. Binghamton's now going to have to break it out as Cornell tags up. O'Brien in behind his own net, connecting on a pass up the far side, but it ends up going through the neutral zone off the stick of Justin Grew. And now Cornell's going to counter. Pass off the wall as Dysart moves it up ice. Connects to Dennis Brown, but good defense there by Max Clares, tightening up that gap and making sure Brown didn't have a whole lot of room to work with. Akins redirects that one up ice and it's dumped in by Brown as Cornell looks to establish a little bit more time here in the offensive zone. Max Clares over there battling for a loose puck for the Bearcats. Ends up poking it behind the net, but the first one to it there is Allen. Just tries to get that out in front, ends up hitting the net, and that gives Foster a chance to move it out of the zone. Gets that one to Stappenbeck, who has 2 different men on him. Still gets it in behind the net where he sets it up for his teammate Justin Grew. Cornell, though, taking the puck away and moving it up the far side. This is Kratsios through the neutral zone. Cuts towards the left side. This might be a 2-on-1. Setting up as Kratsios tries to go upstairs. Just couldn't keep that one under the bar. It missed high and wide.
Great back check by Binghamton. There was no way for Kratsios to even think about making a pass right there. Binghamton caught out man, played it perfectly, and forced him into the shot.
And maybe that shot even came a little bit quicker than he wanted to as he had the defenseman sliding over to him at that point. Maybe not quite as accurate as he would have liked it, but he does get that one in front. Rebound opportunity. It gets through Bloodgood, and this game's all tied up. Getting the goal is number 28, Bradley Wang, again a defenseman jumping up into the play, and Cornell has tied this game up with 9:15 remaining in the third.
There's a rare mistake there by the goaltender Bloodgood. He's usually reliable, but right there, he lost the puck in his butterfly, and it slid through him, and Cornell, they get the second one, and they get this game tied up with 9 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third. The building is rocking, the band is playing, and we've got a brand new hockey game. We have a 9-minute game here, Aaron.
Great shift there by number 61, Luke Kratsios. He had 2 different rushes up ice, and it was that second one he ended up getting the shot in on goal, and it was Bradley Wang, the beneficiary of the rebound, ended up sliding it through the 5-hole of the netminder. It's a 3-3 hockey game, as you said, Sean. You got a 9-minute game here. This is all the excitement we could possibly ask for.
This is what we wanted, and I guess the teams gave us just a period and a half to enjoy the rink, and then they decided to turn up the heat because in the last 16 minutes of game time, we have 6 goals where we didn't get a single one in the first 35 minutes.
Binghamton quickly up ice after winning control of that face-off. Good defense, though, and some physicality there to create a loose puck, and now Cornell looks to counter. Sebastian Alvarez gets it to the neutral zone, but he loses control as McKee. We got a player down there. Is that a broken skate maybe or a lost edge? Yeah, the Binghamton player there has got a damaged skate, and he's going to need some help to get off the ice. That's Justin Franks. That's going to be a key loss. If he's unable to get that fixed and to continue here in this game, that's one of the offensive weapons that Binghamton looks to. He's 4th on the team in points, part of that depth that they can throw at an opponent. See if he can get his skate situation figured out there on the bench. And
he's doing some. He's got the tool. I think he might have just lost his edge there.
Okay.
I mean, I can't tell. I mean, there's no coach or training. Binghamton's one of those teams where they are completely governed by their players. No coach, there's nothing behind the bench besides players.
Yeah, and last year when they were at Nationals, it was a former player that was behind the bench serving as the coach. It's really a point of pride for this Binghamton team that they can run it themselves and do such an effective job of it. Obviously, perennial power here in the league, and they're putting on a great show for us today. Both teams are, in fact.
Absolutely. This is everything we could have possibly wanted and more, and we're not even done yet. The best part might not even have happened yet.
Icing call on the play, 8:26 to go in the third, as we look for the next bit of excitement here between Cornell and Binghamton. This has been every part of the great matchup we were expecting it to be here in the Central Division. Binghamton is the team that leads the division. They've played more games within the division. Whoever comes out on top of this one is going to get that early season edge and the early track to get that 1 seed.
And when you have 2 teams as powerful as these teams are, any edge you can get, you got to have it. That's just a spirit of competition. But yes, any tiebreaker, even something you can feel good about going into a matchup, you need all of it in a game like this because there's no chance these teams don't see each other again multiple times, I don't think.
Yeah, they have another scheduled game there, obviously 2 in the division against each other, so they'll be seeing each other later on this year in Binghamton. That one's obviously going to be a great game because this one has been every bit of the treat we expected it to be. Cornell here into the offensive zone as they've gained some more life. They have the last 3 goals here in this game. They put some pressure on there on the far side, but Binghamton breaking that pressure and getting it out into the neutral zone. Usinski here putting some pressure on the defense, but Cornell finding possession, moving it up ice. Good play to get a stick in that passing lane, and now Binghamton looks to counter. Big hit here in front of the bench as we have a penalty being called here as the player got drilled into the bench door.
No, I think he's getting it for the retaliation.
I think, though, the penalty was called immediately there by the back official in the offensive zone for Binghamton.
I didn't see the back guy. I was too busy freaking out over the hit.
I don't know if they got 1 or 2 penalties here on this one. It only looks like it's going to be the Cornell penalty. So this is
I'm mistaken. The reason I thought it was going to Binghamton is because number 81 Hayden Sutter immediately got up and threw his arms up to argue. I think maybe that was just a case of him looking for the penalty because his face was buried in the bench when the call was made.
So the penalty is called there on the play, and it was a roughing call. Again, we've seen some of those violent hits along the boards. They've been called as roughs. That one called there by the official there to our right, and so it's going to be an opportunity for Binghamton on the power play. We've seen their power play look very effective. Almost a 2-on-1 opportunity there, but it was a hand pass that set it up.
They were offsides anyway.
So we get the stoppage and play 10 seconds into this power play. A little bit of uneven start from the man advantage here from the Binghamton perspective. Let's see if they can lock things down just a little bit more. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw after that hand pass as we are under 8 minutes to go in regulation. It's a 3-3 hockey game. This is a big power play here, Sean.
Definitely for both teams because, granted 7 minutes, we can still see like 11 more goals, but you still need to get the next one. The next one's the biggest goal. That's what every coach who's ever coached hockey will tell you.
I got the under on 11 more goals in this game.
Was that up on DraftKings? I didn't see it.
Yeah, but they took it down already.
I don't blame them.
Cornell getting the clear as they've killed off the first 25 seconds here of this man advantage for Binghamton. Binghamton, though, right along their blue line, quickly countering, moving up ice. Justin Grew into the offensive zone on his backhand, looking to get that tough angle shot, ends up keeping possession, going in around behind the net. And now they look to get their power play formation set up, but that pass is a little bit too far out of the reach of its intended target. Cornell going to get a chance to clear. Can't get it past McKee, though, here at the near point. Sends it back down low as we have a minute 11 remaining in the power play.
Nice
pass
save.
comes in front as O'Brien sneaks in from his point position. Great save by Siegel. That's probably the save of the game for him today.
Yes, for timing, it absolutely is. That's a big save on a big shooter right there, and he steers it away.
And he's showing some confidence there as he pokes the puck away from the player trying to circle in behind the net. Cornell goaltender may be starting to get a little bit more confidence as this game goes on. Puck ends up on the back of the net, eventually played up the far boards. And
that was sneaky.
Cornell gets the clear. 40 seconds now remaining in the power play. Both teams making some changes.
And this is the one thing with these opposite side benches. It's very hard to catch a team in a bad change.
McKendry gets that pass up ice. Here's Justin Franks. Clearly he has that skate issue figured out. Now he's out there on the power play for the last 25 seconds of it. Battle for a loose puck there on the far side. Binghamton winning control. Back to the point to Clares. Clares over to Simak, and now back to the midpoint. Clares looking for that shooting lane. Gets it in on goal. Rebound opportunity, and it's put home. It's Justin Franks getting the goal on the power play. It's now 4-3 Binghamton as they take advantage of this opportunity with the man advantage.
So I think you got his skate fixed, Aaron, because the very next shift he's out there on the power play, and as you've seen from Justin Franks, he's a force around the net. He's got great finish. He picks up the loose puck. He shields it as Cornell was just whacking away trying to knock him off his spot. Then he puts it right past the pad of the goaltender, Siegel, and Binghamton gets their lead back on the power play.
Really hats off to the equipment manager for Oh, wait, that's the players.
Hats off to Binghamton University's
They handle all the
manager.
things themselves. There's nobody to look to get it fixed. They handled it themselves right there on the bench. Franks comes right out there for his next shift, and he gets the go-ahead goal. Cornell, though, with an opportunity there with a funny bounce again. It came right out to Dysert. Couldn't get that backhand in on goal, though. Nice look, though, as he had the opportunity down low. Owen Roll back up ice for the Binghamton Bearcats into the offensive zone. Makes a move to get free. Now back into the slot, and Matthew Usinski rips home the wrist shot. It's now 5-3 Binghamton, and yet again, they have struck twice within 30 seconds and blown this game open like they did in the second.
Yes, they did. And, like we said, we've seen a lot, but the clock is now a mortal enemy of the Cornell Big Red. And again, Usinski trailing the play. Binghamton attacks the line with 2, gets the attention of both Cornell defenders, and then the trailer hits the drop pass, and Usinski does not miss. And again, low glove side on the goaltender Siegel, and Binghamton gets a 2-goal lead, and it looks like Cornell's going to burn a timeout.
Yeah, Cornell taking a timeout here as in the last minute it's been Binghamton breaking this game open. It was a 3-3 hockey game. Binghamton got the power play goal and then quickly followed it up with another goal in the 5-on-5 play that came after it. It's a 5-3 lead now as we have 5:27 remaining here in regulation.
We're not done yet either. I mean, plenty of time.
And so we have the timeout being taken here by Cornell to try to stem the tide a little bit. Had the backup goaltender Matt Small going out to talk to his netminder and try to give him a little bit of a wake-up call, maybe a little bit of a, hey, we're still in this game, still need you to make plays. As it's a 5-3 game, a little bit more than 5 minutes remaining here in regulation. Do want to give special thanks to the Hampton Inn Ithaca for making our coverage in Ithaca this weekend possible. Located on Elmira Road, close to both downtown and the Cornell campus. Book your next stay at the Hampton Inn Ithaca. The go-ahead goal scorer, Justin Franks, trying to get another one on his goal total, but his shot ends up being deflected up and out of play, so we get a stoppage just 7 seconds after that timeout. But it's going to be an offensive zone draw coming up here for the Bearcats as they have found those pockets within the game, Sean, to really explode and take advantage of good chances.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being streaky if you're consistently streaky, and right here, Binghamton again gets 2 in quick succession. If you remember, the third one didn't come long after that either, and I think they're going to try and do this because they know they're facing an opponent that 2 goals is nothing if they get rolling.
Still have plenty of time left for Cornell to come back into this game. 5:17 remaining in regulation, but these draws here in their own zone, they're going to be big because Binghamton winning this one, and now they get a chance to kill off more time on that clock. As Sean mentioned, clock is now the mortal enemy of the Cornell Big Red.
Yeah, and especially because Cornell is a team that has scored 57 goals to this point in the season. So Binghamton's doing a great job of just keeping them as far away from the net as they possibly can be.
This is very effective right here as they continue to be camped out here in the offensive zone. They might get an opportunity in tight, pass out in front, just in the skates of Cullen. Good defensive play as it was Max Miller getting in the way of that one, keeping this one a 5-3 game. As you said, Sean, they're not satisfied with leading this one by 2. They want to continue to add to it. Puck was played with a high stick there. Eventually, though, it was played by a Cornell player, but they can't get it out of the zone there on the far side. Binghamton keeping it in. Franks with the shot from distance just hits the side of the net, but they still maintain possession there on the far side. O'Brien's shot from the far point, that misses the net. Clares comes in from his point position very aggressively to keep it moving in the offensive load.
You're going to see a lot of him to end this game.
Probably both of these defensemen here as they're very reliable on both ends of the ice. They're keeping the puck in the zone. Both of them have done good plays to keep it inside the Cornell end. Cornell just struggling to get a change here now. Justin grew into the offensive zone. He lets a hard wrist shot go. Good save by Siegel as it is Binghamton looking to lock down this game in the last 4 minutes by playing entirely in the Cornell end.
I mean, the team can't score on you if they can't get into the offensive zone, unless, Toskala's in net, but he's not, so we don't have to worry about that.
Finally, possession gained by Cornell.
There he is again.
And Brown can't find any room to move it up through the neutral zone because it's Max Clares getting into his way, throwing that hit right along the center red line, right back into the offensive zone by Binghamton.
Oh, the home ice advantage hurt him right there. They got the funky bounce on the breakout.
Finally, Dennis Brown getting it up ice. This could be an opportunity for Cornell.
Oh, that
pass was just a little bit behind as Allen was trying to find Brown in front of the net. Now it's back into the Binghamton offensive end as Stappenbeck dumps it in. Approaching 3 minutes remaining in regulation as the puck is flipped up and over the glass. Out of play, so chance to catch our breaths here for the last 3 minutes of this contest. Cornell trailing by 2, and they'll get the offensive zone draw coming up. See if they can, or the defensive zone draw coming up. Let's see if they can get possession of it a little bit quicker than they did over the last minute, as they basically spent the minute from coming out of that timeout all entirely in the defensive zone.
And that's exactly, literally to a T how you want to play this right now if you're Binghamton. Look for the goal, but take as much time as you can off the clock to get the goal, or don't get it at all. Just kill the clock.
Back in the neutral zone here as Binghamton tries to make sure it gets deep in the offensive zone. Good play by Kratsios to get it away from the defenseman. Kratsios now on his forehand on the far side as he's got Maroxa on him. Gets it out to Dysert as Dysert tries to find possession here in the corner. 2 different Binghamton players over there doing a good job of playing defense, getting possession, and now McKendry's going to have a chance to carry it up ice. Pass off the boards to Sutter, and now back to McKendry. Gets it across the blue line. Now Todorovic lets a shot go from distance. That goes off the glass, then hits the back of the net. Binghamton players the first one to it. They do seem like they have that extra bit of energy here in this third period, Sean. They're winning all those foot races to the puck.
Yeah, that last pop to Cornell might have them woozy right now. They're on their heels right now. Effort not lacking, but they're a little dusty right now.
Kratsios finding possession as he digs it out of his skates, gets it deep into the offensive zone. Pressure being put on over there by Weinstein. But it's going to be Binghamton again forcing a loose puck and getting a pretty easy clear out of the zone. They're doing a very good job of playing the 5-minute defense here, trying to just kill off the rest of the game by possessing it as much as they can. Todorovic with a great chance from the doorstep there. Another save by Siegel as Cornell trying for that long stretch pass to try to back some of the Binghamton defensemen off a little bit. But again, Binghamton finding possession, making it that much more difficult on Cornell to come back here in this game.
That was close to being offsides.
Cornell does finally get it into the offensive zone. Minute 42 remaining in regulation. Let's keep an eye on the Cornell goaltender and see whether or not they decide to pull him here in this game. They might wait a little bit on that just because of how strong Binghamton's been with possession.
He can't get there.
Cornell trying to get that pass out in front. Grayson Shaw with almost getting that pass.
Man.
Siegel ended up coming out of his net. Now it's a 1-on-0. Backhand shot by Usinski. Good save by Siegel as he had to scramble to get back into the cage. And it ended up as a breakaway opportunity for Matthew Usinski looking for his second of the game. Good save by Siegel in that scramble to get back into the cage.
Matthew Usinski trying to slam the exclamation point down on this game right there with that move. He tried to do the little James Van Riemsdyk far side backhand under the bar. Goaltender Siegel holding his ground nicely and making a great save.
So it's going to be another offensive zone draw coming up. A minute 18 remaining in regulation. Cornell's really going to have to act quickly to get that puck up ice and give themselves a chance to get within one if they really are looking to come back here in this game. They do win control of the face-off, so they have possession of it. Try to float it through the neutral zone, but it ends up hitting the rafters. Maybe one of the banners here from one of the Ivy League championship teams.
Got 2017's championship banner. Very nice nod to that great Cornell Big Red hockey team.
Unfortunately, though, from the Cornell perspective, that means another defensive zone draw that they have to deal with. Now a minute 12 remaining in regulation.
And they wasted one. They finally won, too.
Yeah. See if they can win another draw here. McKee on for
Not
the draw.
against McKee. That man, that's like a big Paul Gostad right there, but the forward came in and swept it out.
Cornell getting it up ice. This is Brown into the offensive zone. Circles just inside the blue line, but two Binghamton players quickly on him. They turn the puck over and get it sent all the way back to the goaltender. Siegel comes out to play it, but 54 seconds remaining. Finally, they get it up ice. Dennis Brown makes a move, gets himself free, and rips a shot through the 5-hole of the netminder. It's 5-4 as Dennis Brown takes advantage of that opportunity and does an excellent job of getting himself free of the lockdown defenseman Max Clares. He put it through the stick of Clares and then got himself enough room to get that shot away. Brilliant goal by number 11, Dennis Brown. It's a 5-4 game with 48 seconds to go.
Dennis Brown says, Usinski, go forehand on there. This is why. Great move. You do not see Max Clares get beat like that ever. So great move there by Dennis Brown. He's been outstanding for the Big Red this weekend. Aaron, 48 seconds. You going to make it?
Hope so. We might get more time here if Cornell can gain some momentum off of that goal.
Oh, this is gonna be tense, Aaron.
Brown's got some life in his steps as he's got it in the offensive zone again. Tries to get it out in front. Good defense though, as it was Usinski coming back to make that play. Get that clear
how did he get away with that?
Grayson Shaw gloving it down there in the neutral zone. It's sent back into the Binghamton offensive zone. Icing is the call on this play.
That's got to be a penalty on 21 right there. He closed his hand on the puck.
No.
They didn't call. I mean, fine, but great. I mean, the Binghamton bench is up right now. I mean, they got a gripe. He caught it and cradled it and threw it down. But again, don't end the game on a penalty like that. I'm fine with it. Yeah. Seriously, I'm fine with it. Let them play. Let the hockey players end this game.
So 25 seconds to go. Let's see if we get a Binghamton timeout here because they're the only ones with a timeout left. Cornell taking a little bit of a while to make their change here. Finally getting their 6 skaters out on the ice as the net is empty on the Cornell end. 25 seconds remaining in regulation. It's a 5-4 game. Cornell wins the faceoff. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Owen Roll clears it out of danger.
Is it going to make it? Nope.
Sends it the length of the ice. This one's going to go for icing. 17.3 seconds now left here in regulation. Another draw coming up in the Binghamton zone.
Oh, man, Aaron. I mean, they're going to... They're going to give us the drama right now here. I mean, 17.3 seconds. That's enough time to set up and cycle and get the shot you want. Obviously, Binghamton's got something to say about that as well, but you do not have to panic into a shot right here. So we're going to Dysert taking this one.
Yeah, Dysert taking the draw against Simak. One by Cornell, and we got a tie game. Oh, my. Oh, my. I was not expecting that to happen off of such a quick play. Alex Allen, the beneficiary of the bounce, it comes right to him. He rips a hard snapshot just inside the far post. We've got a 5-5 hockey game, Sean.
We were talking about this guy in pregame, Aaron. He is a thorn in the side. He's a hard player. He's the player that deserves this. What a play. The faceoff was won in the Cornell zone, and Alex Allen picks up the puck and fires a knuckler, and it dips under the glove of the goaltender and finds its way into the net.
Well, we're not done here, folks.
There's
it looks
plenty
like
of time to get 2 more goals.
We have 15 seconds left in regulation. Let's not assume anything for the rest of the third period.
There's enough time for 2 more goals here, Aaron. I mean, we are not done yet, obviously, but don't be surprised for more regulation fireworks here.
Face off here at center ice as we one more opportunity as jumping up into that offensive play was one of the Cornell defensemen. Puck comes back into the Binghamton zone. 6 seconds left in regulation. Puck is played back through the neutral zone. 3, 2, and 1, and we get extra hockey, much to our surprise here.
But we're not mad about it.
There wasn't a goal scored in this game until after the 14-minute mark of period number 2, and we've had 10 goals scored since then.
This is awesome. You got, the arena, the ambiance, the band, the crowd, then just an absolute avalanche of goals, and then drama on top of it. And now we get to go to overtime, and this is it. Are we looking at the 2 top teams in this division? We're going to find out. But right now, man, and there's more of this. And these 2 teams are going to play again.
This has been every bit as advertised, the exciting affair that we were expecting coming in here. Cornell roaring back, down 3-0 in this game, then 5-3. They've come back twice to tie it. Now we're heading to overtime. It's a 5-5 hockey game. And this is another key point where momentum's going to be an issue coming into this overtime period. Cornell's got all the momentum right now.
Yes, Binghamton, if you have to go to overtime, I think they're thankful for a bit of just a break, just to regroup. You don't see Bloodgood letting goals this late in the game hardly ever. So, a lot's happened today, and we're not done yet. And 5 minutes of overtime, a lot. All it takes is 1, but I expect some fireworks.
All right, referee has blown the whistle. We're ready for overtime. 5 minutes up on the board as the excitement here isn't done yet from the Lynah Rink on the campus of the Cornell University. We were excited to be here to call any game. The fact that we've gotten to call a game that has been this entertaining. We have the Cornell band joining us for this afternoon's game. This has been an absolute thrill to bring you here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Thank you so much for joining us for this broadcast. And I can't wait to see what the overtime period has in store for us, Sean.
Neither can I. And we got 3-on-3 with these teams. So we get the skills competition as the cherry on top. Give me all of it.
All right, starting for Binghamton, it's going to be Owen Roll and Christopher Simak. On defense, Max Clares. Meanwhile, on the other side, Dennis Brown, along with Robert Dysert, and, of course, Joey Padmanabhan. Padmanabhan falls, and Roll's got a lane that goes off the post. Owen Roll with a chance, almost a glorious opportunity gifted to him there, and it's the iron that keeps it out of the net. 15 seconds here into overtime. Simak gives himself a little bit of room, but good D there from Dysert to knock him off of that one. Puck ends up going in behind the net and hits the referee, then comes back through the neutral zone as an errant Binghamton pass ends up going all the way back in below their own goal line. Max Clares with a little bit of difficulty there as he's got Dennis Brown on him. Eventually gets it away from him, feeds a pass up ice. Deflected a little bit on its way to McKee, and now he has to chase it down in the far corner with Padmanabhan on him. McKee out of the corner as he gives himself a little bit of room back towards the blue line. Slowly walking the blue line as he trades positions with O'Brien, now circling into the neutral zone, getting things a little bit more set up to their liking. This is Justin Franks carrying it back in. Makes a move to get around Dysert, now gets it across to McKee. McKee with some pressure on him, though, from Padmanabhan, and now Cornell with possession. A little bit more than a minute gone here in overtime as Cornell settles it down, and this is Dysert circling in his own zone. Cornell going to make some changes here while they have possession. Justin Frank still looking to put some pressure on here in the offensive zone, and it's going to have to be Harry Akins moving pretty quickly over there on the far side to eventually get to it. Dysart still out there as he started the period, now going to the bench for a change. Into the offensive zone is losing control. That one was Franklin Berry. Two different defensemen out here now of the three that are out there for Cornell. As the one forward is Allen, as he's watching the Binghamton player trying to move it up ice. It gets connected, though, on a pass, and now Justin Grew circles in along his blue line. Player stumbles there, and Grew has some room to maneuver. Gets it into the offensive zone. Todorovic almost found a loose puck there. Good defensive play by the Cornell defender to knock that off of his stick before Todorovic let that shot go from the mid-slot. Back into the Binghamton end. Henderson carrying it up ice. The big defenseman into the offensive zone on his backhand. Feeds that pass out in front. Nobody there, though. Cornell player the first one to get to it. And now a chance back in the other direction. Grayson Shaw carries it in across the blue line. Waiting for some reinforcements. Dysart coming off the bench just gets a pass back in the neutral zone. And now Binghamton stealing control of it as they have it back in their own end with Henderson again. 2:30 remaining here in 3-on-3 play overtime. As Binghamton finishing up a change there and getting a couple fresh players out there. Again, this is Simak and Roll, the two that started out front during this overtime period. Simak through the middle of the ice, bobbles the puck and loses control, and that gives Cornell a chance to pick it up. Passing behind the net, Dysart then circling it back around, and now this is going to be Max Miller, but he can't quite settle that one down and skate it up the far side. And that gives his counterpart, Max Clares, a chance to get it up ice. Clares again finding possession of it, lets a shot go, looking for the glove side. Looked like it was maybe a little bit of a look one way, shoot at the other one there from Max Clares, but a good glove save by Jeremy Siegel. And this one stays a 5-5 game with under 2 minutes to go in this overtime period.
And it's been not a lot of back and forth, but it's been very tense because it's been a lot of circling and a lot of puck possession. Like you can hear the music from Jaws playing when they're circling around waiting for the shot to come.
Binghamton winning the face-off here. Back to the point to Clares. Floats it in towards the front of the net. Nice little kind of
love the idea.
Area pass that he sent in there towards Roll. Just didn't quite work out for that chance in front of the net. But a good smart play that doesn't take too much risk.
Here we go.
Pad Manaban into the offensive zone.
Send
Great
him.
play by Clares, and now he springs his player Roll. This could be a 2-on-1. Clares coming in late. Roll saucers pass to him, but it bounces over his stick. Cornell going to counter. No, they're not. They lose control of it as it's Clares in front of the net. Gets it to Roll, and a great save there by Siegel.
What is with this ice right now? Nobody can handle the puck. Did they add an obstacle for... Oh!
Great move by Simak to get free. He rips a shot, but that one's saved by Siegel. Wasn't sure he had it. He looked behind him there for a second. Did finally feel it against his arm, and this one stays a 5-5 hockey game. Minute 17 remaining here in overtime.
This is awesome.
I can feel my heart beating through my shirt.
We have no attachment to either of these teams other than just respect for great hockey, and I'm on the edge of my seat. I just can't wait to see how this game ends. It's a crying shame that one of these teams has to lose this game.
I think we might have to sign up for the rematch later on this season in Binghamton.
I agree with that. Whoever's listening, we'd like to have it.
Harry Akins into the offensive zone, stops just inside the blue line, doesn't see anything he likes, and goes back into the neutral zone. Settled down there and carried back in across the blue line by Dysart. Dysart with some pressure on him, tries to go far side, just off the ice. Good glove save made by Bloodgood. That's the exact spot that the tying goal was scored. Bloodgood makes the adjustment, makes the save in this case. 55 seconds now remaining in overtime.
Yeah, kind of stole my thunder there, Aaron, but yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think Cornell is aware of how they got the last two goals. Same spot, but also looks like the goaltender Bloodgood is also aware of the last two shots that got through him.
Binghamton winning control. They've been very good in faceoffs tonight. That's giving Jack O'Brien a chance to carry it up the far side. Backhand pass to Usinski, and now he comes into the offensive zone. Circles along the far side hash marks, now carrying it back toward the point with 37 seconds remaining. Usinski again circling, trying to get away from those Cornell defensemen. Eventually lays a pass off to McKee, and now McKee with some speed here on the right side. McKee trying to get away from the one defender, but Grayson Shaw right there with him.
Got it.
Called the hooking penalty, but McKee's still going to continue with it. Tries for that wraparound attempt. It looked like he might have gotten it past the goal line, but the net came off of its moorings. So no goal on the play, but it is a Binghamton power play coming up. And that's how our overtime's going to end. We have just under 20 seconds remaining, and Binghamton's going to have a chance for a 4-on-3 here.
And remember, Aaron, it took 17 seconds for one to pop in last time. So it's Oh, yeah. Binghamton's got what they need right here. Cornell just has to try to get this to a shootout, or if you're really feeling nuts, try and win it forward and skate it through. Either way, do whatever you got to do. I trust these teams.
Yeah, Cornell trying to drag this change out as much as they possibly can to keep their players fresh. I don't know if the officials are too happy about this, though.
No, they don't seem to be a fan of it, and they're kind of going to put the kibosh on it right now, it looks like.
Did they give them a penalty, or is this a timeout that was called?
There would be some serious I was going to say.
Binghamton eventually took the timeout there, even though it looked like it was it certainly looked like it was Cornell that was the team that was a little bit more gassed in this situation, that was trying to steal a little bit of extra time on that change.
Yeah, but again, if you're Binghamton, you want to get your guys out there and you want to get your play set. You have the advantage. So I feel like the priority should be more or less worried about how they're feeling and get your guys out there to do what you want to do.
So 20 seconds remain, 19.9 to be specific. It's going to be an offensive zone draw here for Binghamton with the 4-on-3 advantage. This is a huge face-off, Sean. Whichever team gains possession here, that's going to dictate how the last 20 seconds go.
Yep, and if you're Cornell, because it's overtime and there's not a lot of time, if you win the face-off and you want to send a streaker to try and catch them, that's the time to do it. If you're Binghamton, get possession, back them off, and try and get that shot.
Well, we know that Cornell's been aggressive in their penalty killing throughout this game, whether or not it was a 4-on-3, 5-on-4. They pressure the puck as much as they can, so keep an eye on that for when Binghamton has control during this last little bit of power play time, as it's going to be out there for this face-off. Simak and Roll, along with Justin Franks, 3 forwards out there, along with Max Clares on defense. Meanwhile, it's going to be 2 defensemen on the other side and 1 forward. The forward is Dysert, the defenseman Padmanabhan and Akins. Binghamton winning control, back to the point to Clares. Lets that shot go. Save is made. The rebound is there. Roll just can't settle it down and get the shot in on goal. Puck is cleared. Good play there by Dysert to get that one all the way out of the zone. Getting it up along the glass to get it past the Binghamton defenseman.
A little casual there in front of your net in overtime, but
last couple of seconds really wasn't a whole lot of pressure being put on there by the Cornell player. Dysert kind of with some late pressure, but overtime has now come to a conclusion, and we are heading toward the shootout.
And that is exactly, it's only fitting that this is how this game is going to end, all the way to the wire. More skills competitions. I am here for all of it.
So we have, it'll be 3 shooters from each side taking place in this shootout. Second time in a row we've done a league broadcast where we've gone to a shootout. Our game earlier on in October between St. Bonaventure and University of Buffalo, that one also went to a shootout. Interested to see which shooters are going to be selected from each side here. Sean, you have any guesses?
For Binghamton, I mean, Simak has to be a lock, right?
Yeah, Simak might be the first one going.
Yeah, I mean, Simak, then you can take whatever you want to do. I mean, you can send out Franks. You can send out Clares if you want to. I mean, he's got some skate. I mean, there's plenty. Owen Rowell. There's just guys up and down the lineup, and you can say the exact same thing for Cornell. I mean, it looks like Padmanabhan's going to shoot. He's out on the ice right now. I mean, seriously, you could justify putting any of these guys out there on either team.
A little bit of a conversation going on here between the 2 referees and the Cornell bench.
What's there to discuss?
I'm not sure they're 100% aware of what the... Oh, okay, they're just discussing what the rules of the shootout are. Okay. So it's 3 shooters from each side, and then I think they're discussing right now what the rule is when it comes to
after
players' ability to take a second shot.
The TJ Oshie rule.
Yes, because there is that ability is here in the shootouts in the UNYCHL. So we'll keep an eye on that as we keep moving here. First shooter is going to be for Cornell, and it's Alex Allen. He has had a great game. He scored the game-tying goal.
And
he has certainly left his imprint on this game. He gets the first opportunity in the shootout.
Let's take a look. He can shoot or he can deke, so he's got both.
All right, Allen against Bloodgood for the first matchup here. After 5 rounds, the same shooter can go again. Allen coming in on the left side of the ice, just fires a hard snapshot, beats him on the glove side, and Cornell takes the early advantage as it's Alex Allen continuing his strong play throughout this game. Actually, throughout this weekend, he has been an excellent player for his side, and he's got the first goal here in the shootout. Cornell with the 1-0 advantage.
And here comes Simak, Aaron.
Christopher Simak, one of the most dangerous players in the UNYCHL, maybe in the entire CHF, and no surprise to see him out there as the first shooter in the shootout for the Bearcats. Picks up the puck at the center ice dot, slowly coming into the offensive zone as he's on the right side of the ice, in towards the slot, but bounces on him as he tries to make the move just in front of the goal crease, unable to get the shot away, and it just trickles into Siegel. So the 1-0 advantage holds up now as it's going to be Cornell's Dysert for the second shot attempt, as Cornell with the 1-0 advantage after one shooter apiece. Dysert is one of the leading scorers for this Cornell team. No surprise to see him as part of the shootout. Fakes the shot, goes to the backhand. Great save. Adam Bloodgood staying with that one the whole way, as a nice couple of moves there in front of the net by Dysert, and stays there the whole time, makes the glove save.
Usinski.
And yeah, Usinski is next. No surprise there. I would guess that Roll will be the third shooter.
Roll, Franks, or any of them. Probably Roll, but then you got to think of McKee as well.
Matthew Usinski into the offensive zone, slows down a little bit as he gets the slot to the backhand. What a pretty move there to go upstairs and beat the glove hand of Siegel. That was something right there.
Oh, man.
It's now 1-1 as Usinski with the highlight reel shootout goal.
Oh, my head hurts. That was dirty. And the thing is, that was the second time Siegel's seen that move, but Usinski, no doubter.
Grayson Shaw, he has been another very effective forward for the Big Red today. Into the offensive zone, cuts into the slot, bounces a little bit on him. Maybe that ice is causing some more difficulty. Bloodgood makes the save, and it stays 1-1 in the shootout.
And here comes McKee with a chance to win the game for the Bearcats.
Thomas McKee is the next shooter. He is extremely dangerous. He's got 1 goal today. He scored 4 times yesterday. Now let's see what he can do in the shootout. McKee with some speed, makes the move, tries to go to the backhand. Siegel stays with him the entire time, making the right pad save and giving his team a chance to win it here on this shootout attempt. No surprise, Dennis Brown, number 11, is going to be taking it.
He's been excellent, too. Now, we go to now, does it go to sudden death after 3?
I believe it does.
Okay, cool.
But this is sudden death right here. Dennis Brown with a chance to end it. Dennis Brown slowly brings it in, tries to shoot it low. Pad save made by Bloodgood. I think the ice is starting to become a factor here, as we have seen guys with a lot of difficulty just getting it settled down in the slot to get a good shot away.
Sebastian Henderson, Aaron.
Ooh, the big defenseman. This could be some sort of specialty move here.
Oh, the Henrik Tallinder on Marty Brodeur, huh?
This is, I got to imagine that they've seen something in practice, that this guy has some sort of skill in the shootout on a breakaway. Takes the shot here as he maybe tries to budget for that dirty ice. Good save made by Siegel. And we continue on here in the shootout, as it's going to be the captain, Joey Padmanaban, with the chance to end it.
And you know what? And it didn't hurt him, but he probably wants to atone, being a prideful hockey player, for that fall. Here's his chance.
All right, Padmanaban, the captain, with a chance to end this one. Cuts the slot with some speed, tries to go around with the one-hand backhand move. Just couldn't quite sneak it past the foot of Bloodgood. And we continue on in this shootout as we now have 4 shooters done on each side.
Who's doing the lacrosse move? Someone's going to pick up the puck. Someone's going to do it. We've seen everything else.
Owen Roll, the 5th shooter for the Binghamton Bearcats, slides it in front of himself and now cuts back in towards the slot. Poke check by Siegel, but Roll gets it past him nonetheless, and it's in the net, and Binghamton has scored. How could that, so it's sudden death there?
Yes, Binghamton, Cornell shot first.
Oh,
so
Cornell
Binghamton
did shoot first, that's correct.
Yes.
I had it flipped backwards there, and it was Binghamton then winning it there in the shootout on a goal by Owen Roll, as he just kind of snuck it through the poke check of Jeremy Siegel. And that's how this one ends, a wildly entertaining game. And it's going to be Binghamton coming out with the shootout victory by a score of 6-5. And wow, that couldn't have been any more entertaining from a viewer's perspective, from an announcer's perspective. What a great game between these two teams. And the next one that they play is sure to be just as entertaining.
100%, Aaron. We got everything we could have possibly asked for, and I am not going to say Cornell lost this game. I'm going to say Binghamton won the shootout, because this was just a great hockey game. We don't know who the better team is yet. We really don't, and that's not a diss on either team. I think we're looking at two of the UNYCHL's top teams right here, no doubt about it.
And from a CHF perspective, when it comes to the national rankings, this game is going to go down as a tie. And I feel like in this case, with what Cornell was able to do in this game, being able to have a tie for the national rankings is certainly a justified reward for the way they played this game. Binghamton ends up coming up on top here. They'll get the extra point within the UNYCHL, and they get the early advantage in the UNYCHL Central Division. But what a great game, Sean. Now we have the tough job of picking the 3 stars. We're going to step away here for a moment, and then we'll be back with the West Her 3 stars of the game as we bring you continuing coverage of the UNYCHL here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Give us about 30 seconds, and we'll be back with the 3 stars of the game coming up here from the Lynah Rink here at Cornell University. It's been a great game between these two UNYCHL Central Division foes, and it certainly lived up to all the billing that we expected here in this game, and it's just been a fantastic effort from both sides. We'll be back in a couple moments here with the 3 stars of the game, brought to you by West Her.
Our coverage this weekend in Ithaca made possible by the Hampton Inn Ithaca. Whether you're traveling through the area, visiting kids at college, or in town on business, the Hampton Inn Ithaca is the smart choice for your stay. Free Wi-Fi and a daily breakfast are included, plus access to the pool, gym, and business center. Enjoy all the wonders of Ithaca and the Finger Lakes area, and leave the rest to the staff at the Hampton Inn. 337 Elmira Road, not far from downtown Ithaca or the Cornell campus, 607-277-5500.
I created Buffalo Golf and Social for one reason: to create a space that's different and unique from any other golf facility you've ever been to. It's a place to learn, and it's a place to enjoy. You ready?
And welcome back to the Lynah Rink on the campus of Cornell University. Delighted to have brought you this game here today, as Cornell and Binghamton gave us a great matchup. And now the 3 stars of the game is we're giving the first star to number 4, Max Clares from Binghamton. He was dominant on the ice here from start to finish. He gave his team every chance to win this game, did a lot of things, both defensively, offensively as well. We talked about him throughout the broadcast. Very deserving number 1 star.
I agree with that, Aaron. He played sound defense, was part of the offense, was good at playing defense and stopping Cornell and getting the puck out of his own end as well. Outstanding game for Max Clares, being named our first star of the game.
Second star of the game is Alex Allen, and then the 3rd star from Binghamton is Justin Franks. And really a dynamite game from both sides of things here. Cornell down 3 in the second period. They got the goal late in the second period on the power play to give them that extra bit of life going into the third. Binghamton then blew it open in the third period, got up 5-3, but Cornell did not quit. They scored twice in the last minute or couple of minutes to get the game tied, force overtime, goes all the way to the 5th round of a shootout, where it is Owen Roll finishing it on the shootout attempt, getting it through the poke check of the netminder. A great game played on both sides, and certainly we could have probably come up with 7 or 8 stars of this game, as we had great performances from both sides.
Yep, absolutely. This was a game where the 2 best teams played, and we did not get a clear winner. You can't decide. You can't come to who the better team is with a shootout. That's just a statistical point. Nothing wrong with that at all. But we're going to see these 2 teams again. And I'm almost at a point where I might even bet money we'll see them play a 3rd time at a neutral site.
Well, they are certainly going to be a part of our next broadcast here of the UNYCHL on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Those broadcasts are coming up less than 2 weeks from now. We're going to be at First Arena for the Invitational at Elmira. We'll have all 12 games of the showcase between the UNYCHL and the Empire Conference live right here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. That is the weekend of November 18th through the 20th. Both of these teams will be there, as well as St. Bonaventure and Niagara from the UNYCHL. The 4 Empire Conference schools, Farmingdale, Fairfield, Quinnipiac, and Ramapo. That is a weekend of fantastic hockey that we're looking forward to. these two teams are going to be a big part of that weekend. Certainly can't wait to see what they're able to do there at the Invitational at Elmira. All 12 games being brought to you here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Certainly looking forward to that one. But what more can we say about this one? This was as good as expected.
And then some as well. I mean, we got, the feeling out process, but, just the taking in the ambiance of this historic rink. You got an avalanche of goals in the second half of the game. We got overtime with scoring chances. Then we got it topped off by a shootout for some extra hockey. I mean, if there was a price of admission here, it would have been worth it. It's awesome that there wasn't, though.
If somebody wants to make me pay for admission on the way out, I would gladly do so, because this was every bit as worthy of a game in this arena, and the experience that calling a game here, this was something we were looking forward to all season. It was as advertised and as entertaining and enjoyable as we thought it would be here today. Our coverage of the UNYCHL is presented by Buffalo Golf and Social, Buffalo's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. Simulators, leagues, lessons, Buffalo Golf and Social is the area's best destination for practice and instruction. Plus, with the great beer and wine selection, also the perfect place to sit and watch golf with others who love the game. Locations downtown Buffalo and in Orchard Park. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. This broadcast also brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Contact them online, militello.com. By West Her, the largest automotive dealership group in New York State, selling over 50,000 pre-owned and new cars every year to customers in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. West Her Auto, dedicated to absolute excellence in customer service. By the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, commercial, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency, providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Get in touch with them, 716-675-5700. Also by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. They're online, enviousgameware.com. And by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. Find them online at 412communications.com. That's going to wrap up our broadcast here from Ithaca. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Couldn't have asked for a better game, as it was a 6-5 shootout victory in favor of Binghamton, as they take the early advantage in the UNYCHL Central Division with this win over Cornell. Reminder, again, we'll see both of these teams in 2 weeks as we bring you live coverage of the Invitational at Elmira from First Arena in Elmira the weekend of November 18th through the 20th. Certainly hope you join us for those broadcasts. Thank you so much for joining our broadcast this afternoon. For camera operator Jeff Jazarowski, producer John Dwyer, color commentator Sean McHugh, my name's Aaron Elpern. Have a great Sunday. Our coverage this weekend in Ithaca made possible by the Hampton Inn Ithaca. Whether you're traveling through the area, visiting kids at college, or in town on business, the Hampton Inn Ithaca is the smart choice for your stay. Free Wi-Fi and a daily breakfast are included, plus access to the pool, gym, and business center. Enjoy all the wonders of Ithaca and the Finger Lakes area, and leave the rest to the staff at the Hampton Inn. 337 Elmira Road, not far from downtown Ithaca or the Cornell campus, 607-277-5500.
I created Buffalo Golf and Social for one reason: to create a space that's different and unique from any other golf facility you've ever been to. It's a place to learn, and it's a place to enjoy. You ready?